Thanks.
Long expense.
Trick is I put a little garlic powder in it.
Trick is Marlon made it.
The heck she did. I made it.
Garlic powder makes everything better.
It does. That's true.
Less is an drinking night.
Not for me, but you go ahead. Do you need some?
Oh, probably later.
No.
Start the game. No. We got.
Yeah, to get him started.
I immediately regret this.
These things happen.
Yeah.
Try like this.
What is that?
Cat.
Is it a little alligator something or?
No, it's like an ice.
Oh.
That was the ice, yeah. He just put it on the ground and kind of sniffed it. I don't think he can hurt that. It's like time back last.
Yeah, I work with some.
This is probably
Not bad. He said, "You're going to go do that game tonight, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, Heather works with me now." I said, "What game?" So I had to get out. And guys, he said, "Oh my gosh, what up?"
Are you chewing it?
Ow.
No,
Shit.
well,
Alright.
I'll fix the movie then.
You want to ready?
Yeah.
let's
That
this is hard.
Nope.
This is hard today. I had to explain to you how you read 27 times. Yeah, this is the one that I thought would be really good at accounts payable. And seriously, you talking about regretting your decisions? Oh, yeah.
No, there's a specific thing though that I'm
No, I
trying
can
to
read it.
remember.
Was it my accounting classes that I took?
No,
Okay.
No, there's a specific thing that I've watched in the past few days that referenced accounts payable.
Was it True Detective?
No.
That sounds something. So.
I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
Don't want to miss the drop, huh?
I don't want to get
It's
it
just
everywhere.
that-
I don't want to get it everywhere.
Apparently it is. It is.
I don't care.
Just spell it everywhere, it's fine. It's all you can say.
Yeah.
You still have the paddles. No, I didn't buy the paddles. I just bought the table. Okay.
As you.
As you. All right.
Also separately.
Okay.
Everybody's got a drink. Don, you say you didn't want anything, right?
I got some.
You're good. Okay. Last time, so a lot of interesting things happened last time we played, but the serious one is you guys managed to get a long rest, a good night's sleep, recover everything away from Briarstone Manor. The first night away from the asylum. Which, what's the matter, sweetie? Looking all innocent down there. Away from the asylum, which is now the wreckage of the asylum, which is clearly visible from the southernmost portions of the town of Thrushmoor. You guys had an opportunity to actually kind of go around. Now you had investigated on the first day there. You had investigated Thrushmoor to a little bit. Found some strange reactions to your presence. In some cases, outright antipathy for Elib and Jess. In some cases, random people sort of being like, "Hi, where have you been?" You know, that kind of thing. Which was interesting since you remember none of it. You guys ended up splitting up into two groups. One, Fascia and Tavian, one, Jex and Elib, to go investigate the city once you had woken up after staying the evening at the Sleepless Agency Fortress. Yes?
I thought it was with,
Oh, Dustbar went with you guys too. Oh yeah, it was Tavian and Dustbar, not Fascia wasn't there. Okay. So you guys wanted to do a couple of things. So the first thing Tavian and Dustbar wanted to do was check on the fort. So you guys went over there and you kind of, sort of try to scope it out from afar, figure out if there was anything interesting going on over there. You couldn't see much. They've got 11-foot walls around the entire fort. Yes?
are you recording?
Yes.
Okay.
There are 11-foot. Yes, we are. Why? Is that?
Just making sure.
Okay. There are 11-foot walls around the fort. but you guys were able to find, and there's patches of woods nearby which obscure vision. You guys were able to find a warehouse full of silage for animals and break into it. And from the upper floor, you were able to see both over the trees and into the bailey area of the keep itself, the fort itself. You noticed a couple of things. One, a bunch of guys who looked relatively normal, who were, fighter types from around here. One assumes the constables, practicing weapons out in the bay. But you also noticed a group of 4 men who were obviously Moang, dark skin, curly hair, who were installing a large pole in the grounds of the bailey. They had dug a hole, and these 4 guys were actually muscling this pole into the space and, sort of making sure that it would stand up. It was about 20 feet long, about 15 feet high once it was installed in the hole they had dug for it. But as far as you could tell, there were no sort of inscriptions or anything on the pole. As you guys were leaving, you guys watched it for a while, and they were like, there's nothing else happening here. We can't see much of anything in there. As you guys were leaving, you were spotted coming out of the thing by a guy who was headed towards Iris Hill. And as you can see on the map, Iris Hill is sort of like going to the northwest. Did I say something?
No,
Okay.
He's so curious.
He's like, oh my God. So a guy going up to Iris Hill looking like he was on the delivery, who recognized Tavian and called out to him by name. Where have you been? Talked to him very familiarly and was inquisitive about where he had been for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Because it was like, that one day you were there and then you disappeared. He did let slip, so they arranged to meet for drinks later, and during that period, he did let slip that the last time he'd actually visibly saw Tavian was on the docks, Pier 12 of the docks, and the way he characterized it was like you were at the end of near the end of the dock, repairing something underneath the dock. You have no memory of this. He said that he assumed that you were waiting for the boat to take you to Briarstone Asylum because he hadn't seen you after that, and that's typically where the boat comes to go to Briarstone Asylum. Tavian remembers none of this. What are you doing? Joel?
Yes.
It's probably because I'm close to it
Do you break things?
Yes. frequently,
Yeah.
almost all the time. Not constantly.
Anything above like the technological advancement.
Is it working out?
Yeah.
Even that,
We
it's,
used to call it the Carmack effect, because we had a guy that came around us that he couldn't even wear a watch.
Mhm.
Ray Cruthers could not tune a radio.
Why?
It's just a body, electrical field in his body. If he tuned it and then sat back, it would be out of. So,
What is with people like that? Are they like magnetic or something?
So this is back in the day when you could have like, little push buttons and everything.
Mhm.
So he would sit back in driving position, have somebody in the passenger seat tune it and set the buttons.
so next time we see Ray, we have to ask you.
I don't know if it's still,
They're electronic now,
Yeah.
it's not analog anymore, it's digital.
Containers that you
Really
can
was
sell
that.
from
What's the
Quick
music,
Trip.
so-
All right.
John Morrell ham things.
Mhm.
We made those.
Okay.
And they had a problem.
Dan
with
said you could tune
lines,
the piano, and you could tune the piano, but you couldn't tune the radio.
crushed metal. Well, you can't have metal in food stuff.
No, you
So
can't.
we had to run everything through a metal detector. They had to set it because they had it set too sensitive and somebody got their hand too close, it went off. Because it was picking up the iron in the blood.
No
Oh.
way.
Because we weren't allowed to wear rings and stuff on the line.
Right.
That's some like Magneto shit right there.
Yeah.
It was picking up the iron in the blood.
Specific Band-Aids for manufacturing plants also have metal in them, so that
Yes.
if the Band-Aid makes it into a.
Oh, so they can detect it,
Yeah,
Those are the blue ones. You
Yeah.
see somebody with a blue Band-Aid, that's why.
okay.
I only use Scooby-Doo Band-Aids.
That's my surprise.
So then,
Gets to those
I would
dimensions.
run in mouse, but you know.
I like the Scoobies one. Yeah, it's reminds me. What are you saying? What do you want me to do?
Huh?
Yeah.
Something like feed me?
Maybe Seymour?
So then, Elib and Jex went out into as Duskbar and Tavian were out there, Elib and Jex went out and went from store to store talking to various people. But what they were really trying to do was get and ascertain the reaction that these people had to them. And those reactions came in one of three ways. One, it was either friendly, yeah,
Which I was fine with.
Right.
We talked.
relatively friendly, polite but distant,
Yeah,
or outright fearful.
right.
And it was mostly friendly, somewhat polite, a couple of fearful.
Yeah. And I reacted differently for each of the.
For each one. Yes, this was much, to try and be as big a pain in the butt as possible to everyone around.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, but it was interesting that most people seemed to have some sort of idea of who they were. In the case of, in several of these merchants from town addressed them by name, Jex or Elib or both. Ultimately, you guys ended up at the leather worker and commissioned him, the same leather worker that apparently made Elib's skull belt.
Okay.
They commissioned him to make a master blaster rig
Yeah.
for Elib so that he could stand it. So 3 days, 42 gold pieces. I have that all written down.
Paid.
So they will have a master blaster rig. But apparently he knew that
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
he knew them well and was pleased to have their custom. So obviously Elib and Jex's reputation around town sliding scale.
Varies. Yeah, varies.
All right. Back at the Stain, Tavian met his friend who is Keldrin Mon, as you can see on the thing, the guy on the right, or the left, I mean.
On the right.
You're right. Who basically told the story of that, he was friends with Tavian. They were drinking partners, but that he had disappeared about 5 weeks ago. And nobody really knew where they had gone off to, him and some other people. Everybody assumed they had gone to the asylum, and it wasn't. It was a couple of weeks. It was several weeks later when the fog fell down on the asylum and that kind of stuff. But there was definitely a multiple week period in which all of the party was considered to be at Briarstone Asylum, but the fog had not fallen yet. You guys have no memory of this.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned again, you asked a couple of questions about what you've been at the docks. It's Pier 12. And I said, I assume you were just waiting for the boat to take you over to Briarstone Island. But it looked like you spotted something wrong with the dock, and we're working on it because we're working on something underneath the dock there. It looked like you were doing some sort of repair work. And he's like, look, really, I didn't know that your job was to repair docks, but well, I don't care. He's like, I don't care.
That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Plus, you're gonna have to let me with the thing, I think.
Oh, yes, I am. There you go.
Are we supposed to be in roll 20 now?
No, that's fine. I'm just recording. But I have 3 cameras, and so Libby's running camera 3. So then you guys were coming back into town. You met up, the 2 groups met back up near the Silver Wagon Tavern, and you guys found outside of there a crazy person who was ranting and raving about the mute. Okay, who's ranting and raving. Who's ranting and raving about the Briarstone Witch and how he had seen her and that she was coming back. Now you guys recall that there is a legend of Thrushmoor about the Briarstone Witch. About 120 years ago, this town was a much smaller town, about probably half the size of what it is now, maybe even smaller than that. Which is right now it's about 750 to 1,000 people that live in this large fishing village, but small town. Yeah, but there was probably half that many, if not fewer, who lived here 120 years ago. There was an incident in which the entire population literally overnight disappeared.
Right.
And no one was able to determine where they had gone off to. Generally speaking, there's two sides of thought. There's the folklore side, which just says that the Briarstone witch was responsible for this. She had come here and she had killed everybody, dragged them to Briarstone Isle, and feasted on them, for years after. There's another group of people who said, sometimes the fish of this lake go other places. This is a fishing village. The guess is that there was a combination of no fish and some sort of famine or drought that
Natural
occurred
disaster or
regionally,
something.
and everybody left. Which is, largely this sort of, and they were absorbed by other fishing villages, of which there are many.
Back then, records weren't really good. And
Yeah, exactly. I mean, records aren't even really good now. So that's generally rational people assume. But this guy Elgrior has been, and so this is somebody that Cecilia from over at the Sleepless Agency mentioned to you guys that she would like it if he could be stopped, because whatever's going on in this town, this guy is not making it any better because he's getting people all riled up. There have been some disappearances, so people are starting to think that maybe this guy is onto something. So they were like, if you could somehow persuade him to not keep riling people up, that would be good.
they said they didn't want us to kill him, but they didn't say we couldn't.
We didn't kill him. We drugged him.
Yes.
Duswar got him ales loaded with distillates, and basically put him in bed. But before he fell asleep, he told you a story about this cave down the river that he had seen lights coming out of, and that he suspected was the cave that he knew was the cave of the Briarstone Witch. The way you guys determine that, the way he talked about the Briarstone Witch in general is just like, okay, he's in a nutshell. The way he talked about this particular cave was like things he had seen, right? He was a witness to this sort of thing, which seemed to have a little bit more a little bit more truth to him, a little bit more substance to him. So you guys, Veritas. So you guys got together with him, basically like, show us where this cave is. He pointed to the down the river. It's like you can see it. They turn out all the lights, look down the river, and they could see this sort of blue-green glow, which seemed to be materializing on the waves of the river down about, what we say, about a mile and a quarter down the river.
Something like that.
So you guys got a boat, took off down there to check it out. You got there. There's a little pull in next to next to the underbrush where you're able to pull it. And the first thing you noticed was you could definitely see that there was some sort of bioluminescence that was taking place. That was shining a bluish green light that was coming out and able to be seen on the water. Now it was pretty faint, and especially at a mile and a quarter, you had to extinguish all of your torches, all of your lanterns, and really sort of look, but you could see it. But it's not something that somebody just sitting on the river or crossing a bridge or sailing back into town would immediately notice. Yeah. You guys went down there and you found that the inside of the cave was filled with fungus, bioluminescent fungus. It was growing, giving off this blue-green glow. So they went in with torches and sort of burned that fungus and acid. I think you have to use acid blast to get the fungus off the walls. But in doing so, roused the ire of a large fungusy plant creature, which rose up, reached out, and attacked him. And it actually grabbed Elib for a little bit, grappled him, and sort of put up a good fight.
Very well done.
What?
You guys are right.
Got it right. I'm working. I'm doing it. I'm not the best, but what's the sign on those oranges that they have the famous picture of? Not the best, but still good. Beat that, found an old rusty portcullis and gate that was blocking off the rest of this cave. And so decided to go and check inside there. Got the portcullis open about this far, and everybody sort of popped in, only to be confronted by what they immediately thought were dogs or potentially wolves. But when they got close to them, they realized that their heads were completely covered in these rolls and waves of fungus. That were just a mushroom kind of thing. What'd you say?
Demo dogs.
Demo dogs.
Demo dogs.
Stranger Things?
I haven't seen this season yet.
It's like second season.
Oh, okay. Covered with fungus. So battle was enjoined, and what a battle it was. At some point, at one point, all three of these dogs released a spore cloud, which still exists. It's dispersing, but when we start tonight, that battle has just ended. We still have.
The woman, don't we?
What?
Oh, did we kill her?
Who?
The witch. Oh, we didn't meet the witch.
You haven't met the witch,
We've
but
heard
you've heard
the
her voice.
voice. We've heard the voice.
The last thing that happened was that you heard this voice from the darkness of the cave going, "Dogs, you heard my dogs. Now prepare to die."
So we're getting ready to die.
And that's where we'll start with. So, what preparations would you guys like to make to die?
Same thing we do every day.
There's no need for that.
So those of you who weren't here, those of you who were here, you are in your regular places wherever you are in thing. Those of you who weren't here are in the boat.
We try to stall for time in order for our friends who decided to take a nap for some reason.
I'm going to go where they are.
Okay.
Me too.
Come on in and die with us.
I guess we'll come along.
Won't be my first.
I'll try and stall for time in the hopes that our sleeping friends will wake up in the boat.
What? Why are you in a boat?
Don't worry about it.
It's like the camp leader from Meatballs. He always ends up on the lake somehow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so you're running up there. So you will see that there is a big cloud of sort of a yellowish pollen-like powder obscuring your vision to be able to see that.
So it's like St. Louis.
Yeah.
Not inaccurate.
All right, so you go. Okay, I'm assuming you're not going to like run headlong into that cloud.
No, I don't want to stop when we get there.
Okay. The portcullis, remember, is only about, which won't affect you. It's only pulled up about this high. So those, some of you will have, it would count as, those of you who are larger, it would count as difficult terrain.
So the fog is still there
Yeah,
and it's,
you're gonna be hearing me talking here shortly.
Oh yeah, you can definitely hear those guys. Well, not combat so much, but combat's over.
Yeah.
You haven't heard. Can you get is the camera not on? Not according to this.
Oh, technology.
Oh, the camera.
Other camera. I can see you. Is it plugged in? Did you plug in that camera?
okay, based on where everything is with my fan technique from the asylum belt.
Definitely.
No, I don't think it would. In fact, I think it'd make it worse because it'd be pointing it towards us.
Yeah.
Between me and you?
Yeah.
If you get,
There's not an angle. There's not an angle.
I can go under it, correct?
you can get under the portcullis, but not the cloud. The cloud is floor to ceiling kind of.
You're gonna have to just run through it.
The cloud is actually, so it's spores, right? So it's kind of like a cloud that's got shot up in the air and it's slowly falling down to the ground.
And
These-
they
these
see
spores-
through it?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, they can see that they can see that the outlines of you guys there. They can easily hear you guys talking.
Right.
You don't have dark vision, do you? You have low light vision, and it's dark in here. Oh, so she might have been seeing the cloud.
Give me a perception check.
Yeah, everybody last time your head dark vision.
Yeah.
Is that a 12? Or a
That's
20?
the reason we
Oh.
don't.
D20 plus your perception check bonus.
Yeah, leave
There's some
Let me
violin
get into this fungus.
Yeah. behind us. I don't know how far.
Well, I mean,
Because it's
no,
like
okay.
a mile away, then yeah, it should by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, take back what I said, it's a lot in here.
18?
18 is good. You see the cloud. So no problem there.
This does more join us as well.
Yeah, of course I am.
Oh, where would you like to be on that? Like right next to me, Mr. Tracy, behind us.
Is the clouds all the way down the ground?
Crewing on the cloud.
It goes all the way to the ground. In fact, so basically these fungal wolves, as part of an attack, basically shot a bunch of pollen and spores up into the air. Those things are heavier than air, so it's not like a gas is sort of hovering there. They're slowly falling to the ground because of gravity. But it's going to take time.
Like in the dandelion, just watching this.
And what is the upper part of is it down from the top of the thing? Do I have any kind of a gap at the top?
Like of the cave? Yeah, no, the cave's actually pretty high. So I mean, there's a clear air up near the top, but to get to it, remember there's a portcullis in a block here. So there's a gate that goes up to the sea. So you wouldn't be able to just. You might be able to. No, it goes up to the
You
top
gotta go under the portcullis,
and then go up.
but then you'll be in the.
Then you'll be in the cloud because it's right on the other side of the portcullis.
This cloud is what?
Spores of some kind. It was ejected by the.
You can make a save. You'll be fine.
It was ejected by the fungal wolves or dogs or whatever they are.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to it.
Okay, so you're just gonna you gonna take any precautions or anything like that?
And hope for the best.
Okay.
I'm gonna smell my underarm, is that what you're saying? Cloth over your nose.
So what do you want me to roll?
All right. So if you are going to. One second. One second. Depending on what you're going to do to protect yourself from the spores, we'll determine what the DC is based on, it'll be a fortitude save, but.
I'm gonna do this.
Okay, just sort of with a cloth thing. All right.
I don't know, but what am I wearing now?
Even more important is who are you wearing?
It's not more.
Right.
I guess that would be a more important question.
Who are you wearing?
My armor is flexible leather, so it's gonna be a little bit thicker than just regular cloth.
Okay.
All
All right, perfect. I need then, so you're gonna take some of that leather, wrap it around your mouth and nose, and then rush through the spores. Give me a fortitude save. See if some of those spores get in there.
Leather you're wearing goes between you and your armor.
Fortitude. All right, I've got a +3, I've got a +2. This +2 has like a little asterisk thingy beside it.
Okay. Any of those specific to poison?
I don't know.
No,
No.
Okay, then if the primary one is +3 or, okay, so add
So,
20. Okay, that's pretty good. So you don't get any spores, but I do need a reflex save.
pretty good. I think that's pretty dang good. Thank you very much.
your reflex is even better.
Now I need a reflex.
Oh, yeah.
Natural
26.
All right. As you're running
It
through,
was a natural one.
you're watching out for the spores. You don't realize that you're running headlong towards the bodies of the wolves. It's only at the last second that you realize that you're going to go careening over them and skedaddle across the floor. You leap over them and end up about here.
Yay!
Woo-hoo.
Hi, guys.
Where have you been?
Asleep.
And sleeping in the boat. What have you guys been doing?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna be on, since I was with them last week, I'm gonna be on this side of the cloud. Yeah.
You had to leave early before the battle.
You weren't able to
Yeah.
join us for the fight.
So you stay on, so you stay on this
Side of the
side?
boat.
Yeah.
And you sit on those.
Fuck you all.
No.
No, you're here now.
All right, what about the rest of you? So, Dacia, what do you, I mean, are you gonna sort of leap through there? Dustbar, what about?
Am I needed on the other side?
Well, I mean, there doesn't seem to be any action happening, but the others are talking about they heard a voice. And that somebody is mad about the dogs.
Well, I recognize that voice, don't I?
No. I mean, you didn't hear it. You were in the boat. And it hasn't spoken again.
Where did you hear the voice?
I'm still waiting to be stalling for time to wait for you guys, so.
Oh,
I'm
that's
still
what I'm
waiting for us to
asking.
get around to that.
If you heard the voice.
To the right of us.
You think? The cave's kind of whoosh.
Like,
I mean,
Not
within
technically not
60
that
feet of
much.
us, because we'd be able to see.
so like that or that, right?
It's to the right.
Your character's facing this way, that's what I'm checking.
Oh, yeah. Behind me.
Okay.
Yeah. You think it came from behind you.
Okay.
What I've been.
No, I asked. Remember, there's no stupid questions, only stupid people.
I was gonna say, the whole time I've been like waiting for them to catch up and trying to stall for time.
So you're probably out, you got your gladius out, and you're like, waiting for, making sure that you don't get surprised around it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. As you sort of like look around, you see Bella down like, kind of jumping over the wolves. Big Elib is there. Elib, how long are you Big Elib until you go back to being regular Elib?
Several minutes.
Several minutes. All right. Jax, where are you, Elib? Where's your village? Were you destroyed? You were destroyed in the conflagration, weren't you?
He is right
We
next
took
to
it to Gen Con and I forgot to bring it back with me.
What?
Really?
Oh.
Really?
No. I don't have it from Gen Con. I forgot to bring it back from my house.
Oh,
to
Christ.
here.
Oh, my
To here.
Oh.
Your reactions told me I missaid that.
I was like, oh shit.
No.
Well,
I took it to Gen Con for my Pathfinder Society thing. I have it at home.
No, give him the pig man.
You know what? That's a good point. Pigman.
Oh, I guess I deserve that.
Honorary pig man for the day.
Welcome to the club.
All right, so Jax, you're over by Big Elib.
Welcome to Pig Fucker Society.
Sassy and Dustwater, you guys are still outside. Nothing seems to be happening over there. It takes 10 rounds for the spores to get all the way to the ground.
So I've got some, clothing under the armor, obviously, so does the chain.
So you're gonna try to do the same thing.
But that
Okay.
move through.
Yeah. So there's a voice behind us.
Yeah, the last thing, well, you didn't hear it. Only they heard it.
Oh, man.
But they're saying that somebody's in here because you heard a voice like, "You killed my dogs, now I'm gonna kill you."
There's no need for that. We didn't know they were here, and we didn't intend violence towards them.
You just say that out into the cave kind of thing?
I'm turning around, but yes.
Okay.
Turn around.
I love you all.
Oh no. I'm gonna have to add.
2 minutes is how long he is enlarged.
2 minutes, all right, so that's fine.
20 rounds.
20 rounds. So after,
So it lasts only 4 hours.
Yeah.
you gotta consult your
Doctor, I'm calling everybody.
Y'all believe in this?
All right, about a minute later,
Just wait it now.
the spores sort of drop out and are essentially now just on the ground, and you can safely move through there.
Oh, sure.
without
All
running.
right.
You say you
I'm
did
so
fine,
glad.
that's all right. You were worried about your friends. You ran into the rest of these guys.
You were more concerned.
It's good. It's cool.
Good talk.
So those of you, so that's why you and Dassy, I can see sort of everybody sort of standing around on the other side of the portcullis around the bodies of these three. Well, you first glance dogs, but they're definitely getting a closer look at them. They're definitely not dogs in any stretch of imagination because their heads are these big mushroom-like frills of fungus.
There was gunplay and I wasn't involved. I couldn't get in there.
All right, so I go through.
Yep, you can move your guy, do whatever you want. You guys are starting to, so you haven't heard any other voices,
I don't think you need.
and you haven't heard the voice that you thought you heard say anything else. You're just sort of standing there in the cave, wondering what to do.
Can I roll a perception check to try and see?
Sure.
Well, I mean, I'm facing that direction now. What do I see?
Well, there's more cave back there, but it looks like maybe a bigger cave, but you don't see any people. There's also some funky smells in there as well.
Am I able to remove the paper so I can have a clearer idea of what I see?
I use stealth. I'm gonna hug the wall.
Okay.
Hmm.
Turn those things on. Hey, Steve, can you hear us? Excellent. We're setting up so we can hear you. We can't hear you yet. We don't have speakers on.
Can you hear me?
So my friend from Chicago, Steve, says, "Swoosh now. Say something."
Something.
Okay, I can sort of hear him.
Here,
There we go.
who's got the mic on?
I have. Do you have your mic on? I have mic on here, but it's that.
Who's speaking?
How's that?
Maybe I have speaker on here.
Oh.
All
How
right.
about now? Can you still hear us?
Yep.
Okay.
It's gotta be the same computer that has the mic and the speakers on, otherwise you just.
Play my walk-in music.
Maybe. We're still getting.
But that only matters if whoever's on rolls on Zoom, right? Because I'm not on Zoom.
No.
Does you? It's not us.
Well, I'm recording here and broadcasting here. So that's probably what it is. Yep. 1 second.
Is there a place somewhere now you're listening to that for the rest of the night?
All right, Steve, say something.
Something. Something? No? No bueno?
Well, that's a little better.
You can hear, or is it just, am I too far from my microphone?
No, you're fine.
He's great. It's
Oh, thanks for noticing. You guys are fantastic.
Do you have your mic on?
It's all,
Do you have your volume on?
it's muted.
Why is this?
I just went through and.
Is anyone else on?
Deactivate
Is anyone else on Zoom?
I'm not.
Did I just cause all sorts of trouble?
Say something less. Can you hear me? He's nodding. Okay, so if he can hear you, we're good. I just hope we're recording. Otherwise this is gonna be the second boringest video. we've ever made. I just want to be stealthy, but I'm not. So you bumped into. Because I rolled a 2. My stealth check's a 15 total. That'll do it to you. So I'm up against the wall saying, "You don't see me." So there's more. Is there something obscuring our vision? Yeah, that's on both. Because I can see that. Well, it's dark in there. Right, yeah, but I got dark vision. Yeah, most of us. Some of us do. Most of us in this group have both. Well, so it's a larger cave, is what you see back there. I see 5 foot square. The cave is the cave is the cave. It's a. Yeah. I'm not trying to be. We're about to see more. But I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'd like to see it. Well, I mean, because I mean, it is a battle map, and by that, my God, we're just fighting this and that. All right, so what you see. The battle maps apparently are. Very far. So what you see back in there is a really large cave. And it also gives off the impression that someone or something has been living back there. So there's clusters of different kinds of fungus against the, on the walls and sort of thing in this area over here. Sort of all through in here, there are various kinds of fungus all along these walls, growing on the floor, that kind of stuff. Over there seems to be some sort of rudimentary alchemical lab. And you can see that there are, some of it is, there's glassware, the various kinds of things we find in a regular lab, but also sort of like natural kind of things. So there's a lot of organic material on there. There's gourds that have obviously been hollowed out and being used to hold liquids and things like that. A couple of bonds, you know, that kind of thing. You don't see any people. I don't know how effective this will be. I'll do similar to Jack's and stealth along the southern wall. Don't do similar to me, do a good job. That's why I said similar, not
Can I
entirely.
do a perception and see if I can tell if there's something back there?
Sure.
Can we actually see?
You can, so, those of you who have dark vision can see easily into the cave.
Oh, that's good.
And some of the funguses are bioluminescent, so there is some light, it's not a lot.
So on my scales, if my perception has a number plus a number, I'll add that to whatever my roll is, right?
Yes,
Understood.
32 on stealth, okay?
And stealthily moving along this.
Okay, and
26.
26, what are you looking for exactly?
See if there's something in there.
In the room?
That we're maybe not seeing.
You don't see anything. I mean, on one wall is a lot of different kinds of funguses. It looks like, so one thing you do notice is that the funguses seem to have been largely, to your eyes, cultivated. These are funguses that someone introduced here and has been taking care of, because you can see they're sort of, there's a lot of different kinds that are there. It looks like somebody has been growing them. And you can see pieces of fungus and mushrooms and stuff like that on the tables over in the other corner. Like him, you don't see any pieces. What do the rest of you do? Fabian is, you guys have seen Fabian sort of move off into the thing, into the room. Belladonna is sort of squinting into the darkness, trying to make use of as much of that bioluminescent. Okay, go ahead and move your guy.
I'm gonna come over here
I don't have to do a stealth thing.
and look in this direction.
You can,
Well, I stealth for 29.
29, okay.
Nobody sees me at all.
Well, your friends do, because you can't stealth when you're under direct observation. And so you're right there in front of these guys. They see you kind of like do this.
Huh?
You know, and sort of like sneak off. But somebody who's not observing you may not see you.
Let's see.
All right. I've come over here and I'm looking in that direction.
You're looking in that direction, and you also have dark vision, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, my speed is.
So this, if you look into it, you don't see much. It's the smell that hits you. It has a very funky, wet mulch kind of smell. And there look to be some animal bones sort of scattered around in front of you. There's,
I don't get my undead vibe.
yeah. It's there's a moldy, musky smell in there. And you do see there are some animal bones sort of scattered about in the center of the cave. But there's also a lot of organic material scattered about the cave. That's for you. You found this organic material. Wait a second. I may have read that wrong. Hold on a sec. I did read that wrong. Sorry, that was for the other room. Let me actually give you the right flavor text. So there's a wooden door at the end of this, and I'm assuming you just sort of push that open, sort of peer in. So this is a much smaller cave. You can see it's kind of rounded, and you can see there's a pallet sort of in the far corner that has some blankets. There's a wooden, obviously hand-carved wash basin and a chest over in the corner.
also looks homemade. Whoever made this stuff, all of this material, except for maybe the blankets, which are, woven textiles, looks like it was hand carved or made. Not a typo.
Watch out, I may have smallpox. Well, I mean, having dark vision, I don't need to, is there any source of light here in this room?
Not in this room, no.
I will continue to move further into the room.
Okay.
I'm pretty much gonna guard.
That door?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna move.
From people coming to you or to make sure nobody comes
Well, I
out of
just
the
wanna
room?
split the party, but I also wanna be surprised, cause I could go into the room.
Mhm.
But I don't wanna split the party.
Okay, so you're just gonna stand in the doorway kind of?
Yeah.
Make sure that no one comes in, no one comes out.
Right.
Got it. Jax, what about you? What about you and Eli? And Fasty, I wanna know what you're doing as well.
Go in, you. What?
Look at my place. Go on. Okay.
How come I don't have any clothes?
Get some.
You want some of the
Are you relatively healthy adults?
Starting to feel left out. All right, so you guys kind of pop in there.
Didn't have one spells.
Eliv, are you looking for anything in particular, or Jax, are you just sort of looking around?
Just perception.
Perception check, okay. What'd you roll? 13, okay. 17. Yeah, frankly, if you guys hadn't watched Tavian and Bella walk into the cave, you would be, because they're very much sort of being very stealthy. You wouldn't have seen them. You know where they are because you saw them walk in.
Right.
But beyond that, you don't see anything. This is sort of the fungus farm along the wall there, the northern eastern wall, and the little work table and stuff like that, which gives off every indication of being some sort of work area or laboratory. It's a weird, and even from here, Elib, you can see that it's and Tavian, you've got a bird's eye view of it now. It's a weird amalgam of proper alchemical equipment and homemade natural stuff.
Northeast wall has the luminescent fungus.
It has some, not all of the fungus on the wall is luminescent. There are, as you look at it, you can see that there are different kinds of fungus in different patches and different areas. So they're,
Does it look like there are potions already made?
it's possible. There's a couple of bottles and several of those sort of like gourds that had obviously been made into bottles or containers.
I'm guessing it's been novel to nature.
Sure.
Hey, Elo. You think that fungus is important?
Oh,
Should I burn it? They're all going to once.
Everyone talking. I'm gonna move in and stick to the wall as well, so I have my back towards the corner.
okay.
Nothing to do with my leg.
My original. So bad, it's falling apart. We're all going to the same spot. Not me. I'm like, oh, I got a feeling something's coming up.
That's why I was in the hallway going, have fun storming the cave.
Unless all of a sudden you guys find a door. It'll be a slaughter. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Kill the tiefling. It's fine.
Well, it's the old quote. Reinforcements are arriving. Oh, thank God. No, they're reinforcements. All right, so nothing seems to, I mean, you guys are being very cautious as you come into this cave. You can't see anybody. Maybe you're sure that the voice you heard came out of this cave, which is giving you a little bit of the liberty because you don't see any people.
My roll perception to like, I'm gonna look at the ceiling.
It's ceiling. Okay, sure.
Ooh, that's good. 26.
The ceiling is irregular, mostly dark, but with your dark vision, you can see sort of the outlines of it, especially with the bioluminescence that's coming off some of the fungus. You don't see any creatures up there. I mean, there's a few bats, sort of like way up at the top, not even a swarm of bats, just a few of them kind of like here and there. flopping around up there. Not even enough to be a form, but nothing that can speak.
I'll walk into the middle of the room. And say, we honestly are not trying to cause any problems here. We just want to talk. That's why you think you're a dick. Come with me. We're gonna except that one red guy in the back. Okay. That one red guy is definitely trying to cause trouble. He lived in, Jack's moved to the north and west area of the room.
Okay. All right, so you stand there, you step out into the middle of the room, and you say, "We're not here to harm you. We just want to talk."
We just want your snacks. Let me guess. Pit opens up.
At which point, well, not that. At which point, suddenly the strong smell of ozone fills the air. And you look up and you see come down at you. I need a reflex save.
Outstanding.
And then I also need everybody to roll for a niche.
You have combat?
No, I figure we just roll for a niche.
20 for reflex save.
20 for reflex. Okay, that's good. That you made that reflex. So so you take 5 points of electrical damage as you are hit by a tall lightning spell.
I just barely jumped out of the way of lightning. Great.
Just hammer everybody.
Everybody.
Anish, yeah.
Initiative, everybody.
Oh.
Reflex just him.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Les, real quick.
Uh-huh.
Is that an AOE spell?
No, it's an individually targeted spell, and you can see
Okay.
light and ozone beginning to form up at the top of the
So
cave. like that.
second question, and I know this is kind of metagaming. I'm guessing though, that this person has more, dark vision.
Or it's her cave.
Right, but if it's still trying to hit me individually,
Yes.
then there's a
Oh,
chance that
you have a problem, yeah.
if she can see in the dark, then it's not an issue for you, but if she can't,
She can.
she can? Okay,
Yeah.
well then, yeah.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is an 18 on my initiative.
Okay, that's surprising.
Oh, that's.
Wow, okay. All right, initiatives. Thrushmoor, 18. 18, all right. Bella. Elif.
17.
Okay. Tavy.
18. I'm guessing that yours, what's your dex, what's more?
13. Beth.
17, but you can go first.
Minus 15.
Beth.
23.
Wait, finally somebody with respectable.
You. Fuck you.
Oh, yeah. Loving it. Okay. All right. First things first. So we fall into initiative. You've just been hit by some sort of lightning. Most of you have seen this, and the rest of you, there's a big flash of light in this cave, which indicates that something bad is happening. I see it, Steve. Jex is up first. Jex, you react quickly.
I look up. Do I see anything up there?
You see at the top of the cave, there seems to be coalescing some sort of magical energy that looks like it's reloading for another shot at Tavian.
I yell duck.
I know we're on the river, but there's no ducks in here. It's a fungus cave, man. What are you talking about? All right, is that it? You just gonna yell duck? That's the whole shebang there?
I'm sure the corrosive touch, there's no creature for me to aim at. Right?
Maybe.
Please don't. How about a hard no
Well, technically, you could take it.
on? I'll stop your attacks or all your fungus gets it, and I use corrosive, no, I'm using acid splash because I want to get the distance. And hitting one of the areas in the northeast, not the luminescent fungus, but one of the other fungi.
Okay,
But they're all fungi.
give me a general area
But they're such a fungi.
of where you're targeting your acid.
What a fungi they are.
Here. Right there, okay.
They're okay, guys.
Go ahead and roll. Okay.
Hi, guy. They moved over here. It's rain. What a sound to hear.
Roll. 15, okay, yeah, so, so your acid, splashes all over the thing, and in addition to the ozone smell and the musty smell, you now have an acrid ammonia smell from the
One
acid
point.
that's melting, a portion of the fungus that's on the wall.
Man, this place is great. This smells wonderful.
As you do that,
Yeah.
next to you, and Elib,
You guys are over here,
give me a
right?
quick perception check. 15. You happen to look over and you see the fungus on the wall right here is going, well, you recognize it, it's enlarged.
Kind of like this.
It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger,
I wanna
Oh, God
grab
damn it.
this and
and then it detaches off of the wall and falls on Jax. It's too far. And it's not your turn. Does Jax get a reflex save? Watch out. It's dumb. You can't.
That's not the one thing I do. I do reflex
Falls
balls.
onto him, and I roll a,
No reflex save? Oh, man. that's-
well, it's an attack, so
Okay.
you don't do that. 12?
Nope.
All right. It falls on you and then disappears.
Random symbol. Oh, okay.
The problem is, you still feel it. You just can't see it.
Okay. So it turned invisible? Oh, that's a great
And
one.
you got, so Elib, the stuff grew, fell off the wall onto him and disappeared. The thing is, now you can't see it, and you're like, where did it go? You see Jax like this. He's reacting like he's still on top of it. You can't see anything. You can see him, you can't see anything on top. Just we're on Tatum. You guys can decide. I'm gonna do it that way. Whoever's got the same, you guys can decide what you want.
You have anything planned?
I do,
Uh,
but I mean, I'm not in the general
Just
area.
gonna go
so I
in this
mean-
room and lock the door?
Huh?
Lock
Yeah,
the door.
all right. Fuck you guys. I'm going.
Close gate.
I only have,
Can I see what is causing the fucking lightning?
There's like a little cloud up in the top, which is glowing. You can see lightning flashes in it, and now it's growing bigger and bigger and bigger.
Out of curiosity, are there stalactites?
No, it's not that kind of cave. It's more like just a, sort of crunchy roof. There's no stalactites or no stalagmites. It's
roll the
actually
spell check.
sandy kind of floor.
This,
on the
somebody's
same color.
casting this. It doesn't have to be anything.
No, I know, but
I mean, there's,
I know that, but I'm not gonna,
there's nothing that I can really do. You can put your head between your knees and kiss your head.
I mean, if nothing else.
Have you ever tried that? It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
If nothing else, I will. You go ahead first. I've literally got it.
So as I am casting divine favor on myself,
Okay.
and then I am just gonna move past the, I am gonna close this door. I'm gonna close the door, not gonna bar or anything else like that.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't even have a lock on it.
All right,
They're gonna hold the door.
no, I'm just gonna come up here and I want to see what's going on, and I have another, if I have to, what I'm gonna do next, but. So I see, if I roll a perception check, whatever. Do I see the cloud about ready to hit him with lightning? I see.
Give me a perception.
Yeah. Just make sure my modifier is. 13.
13. All right. So you definitely.
Oh, no, wait a minute, with divine favor. 13.
13. Okay, perfect. The gods have abandoned you.
I get
Great.
1 minute.
All right. You definitely see Tavian with a little bit of smoke rising off the top of his head, looking upwards at what now looks to be a coalescing cloud. Do you have knowledge arcana?
I do.
Okay. You also see Jax sort of pretending to.
I know, I have spellcraft.
That's good. That's fine. You also see Jax over there pretending to be burdened with some sort of heavy weight on top.
Some of mine. 18.
18.
Spell check.
It's a call light.
Glorious. With all these plants and things like that, I mean, I don't need to roll in knowledge arcana to know this is,
No.
this is druidic stuff, so.
So yeah, that's what you see.
All right, I'm not moving anymore, so I have to get a lay of the
You
land.
don't see Bella, you do see Thassia.
He's
with
Bella?
stealthing.
No, it's not.
Just stealthing, okay.
No, Bella was stealthing.
Do I see,
Yeah, so you see Jax. Jax is over past Elib, and he's sort of like, so Jax is small anyway, but he's sort of like,
okay, so this thing is invisible. I mean, I didn't know it was invisible to Thaddeus, but
did you look?
Elin, but
You don't see anything.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, you suspect Jax is fake.
Yeah. Which would be him.
That's his
That's
MO.
his mode.
I trust the buddy, don't worry.
He's a
Good
huge
son.
I'm not gonna do anything about it.
He's
I
a
trust
huge
you.
faker.
You wanna snack?
What a lying bastard. He's a big dude, is what he is.
Give me burger.
All right, so that is Duswar. Tavian, did you do anything?
No, I gave him the first go. Can I roll? Can I roll something to see if, nope, I got nothing useful there.
Man, I gotta
I'm
remember
gonna. I'm gonna move towards the, alchemy set.
Okay.
And kind of position myself to where if the lightning does launch towards me, it'll also
It
smash.
could put those into jeopardy.
Yeah.
You look like you want to stand like right in front of the table.
Yes,
Okay.
basically, if I'm able to jump out of the way,
Okay.
then the lightning will also end up smashing into his work.
Okay, sounds good. Elib and Thassia.
Don't worry, little buddy, I got you.
Thank you.
Pick Jax up and put him on my shoulder.
All right, so wait, before you do that though,
As
you
you go
reach
to
down,
do it.
and before you get to Jax, like you're reaching out to pick up Jax and you put your hands into something and you feel sort of like, well, it's not moist or anything, but it's some sort of like squishy, spongy kind of thing.
Well, good, and you push it down on me too.
As your hands go in, you realize it's interposing itself between you and Jax. So it's in between you. So unless you like go all the way through, which you're not sure that you can, 'cause it's very rubbery, it's very spongy. but it's also reacting to the fact that you touched it. So you can feel it sort of like closing around you, that kind of thing. Okay?
Please, dear God.
My claws out.
Claws, and they go in. Does that count as an attack? Okay. Roll to attack. And this would be a touch attack, I think.
I mean, really, but her claw, and his claw, he was gonna go through attack Jax?
Last time you.
No, she's attacking the thing.
I know, but.
It's about a foot deep. Your hands are about a foot away.
Okay. So it's not that deep. His claws,
I'm
don't go
really-
that.
That, screw up.
I'm really hoping this evolves into Ela grabbing, Jax and smacking him like the, cat
You
in.
basically have your hands in
Monty.
Yeah.
and then you're just like, claws activate, and they just go, and it goes into it, and you definitely feel your claws burying themselves in the thing. In fact, how long are your claws?
Like little talons.
Regular talons, okay, so they're not gonna shoot into Jax
No,
accidentally.
They're not like.
They're not like
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Damage.
6 inches, not 18. Well, I just want to ask, yeah.
Is that a man's measurement? So let me-
19 total.
19 points, okay.
That's a man's name.
Cause I mean, you know,
Only a man could equate 6 inches with 1 mile. That's why we're so good at reading math.
so let me take those inches.
Yeah, they've been.
I've been told for the other left, this is 9 inches.
You remember her joke from the, store? That's a man's 9 inches.
That's a man's 9 inches. All right, so yeah, you feel your claws burrow into this thing, and you also feel it sort of begin to sort of like twist. Shit. You feel the pressure start to come away from you, as it's obviously found a more problematic, more problematic thing.
More problematic than me?
That's it.
Shocking, I know.
Yeah.
Who knew that?
So I'm gonna cast Stunning Barrier on myself first. So.
What is that?
If you are closely surrounded by a barely visible magical field, the field provides a +1 deflection bonus to AC and a +1 resistance bonus on saves.
Okay.
Any creature that strikes you with a melee attack is stunned for 1 round, will negates. Once the field has stunned his opponent, the spell is discarded.
Is it an electrical barrier?
It is not, it looks like just.
It's a barely visible.
The
magic.
fourth barrier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you got your Doom shield up.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I'm gonna move.
The whole Doom. With the big squares, the roadblocks.
See what the fuck, what's in mind.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. Skittering around looking for a target.
Yeah.
All right.
Was it seven space or seven shades?
Seven
Seven
shades.
shades. Yeah, that's one.
Me, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. All right.
Oh, yeah, the same year.
Yeah.
Weird how.
Feel it. Oh, but you hear sort of a sound around you, and it's some sort of guttural competition. And then you look up and you see raining down out of the sky, which seems like off of the roof, which you didn't even realize were there, are an enormous amount of flying worms that land on top of you.
Oh,
That's a disgusting man.
They begin getting under your armor, in your hair. Do you have hair? Did you have that? Okay. In your hair, and biting you. So this is a swarm, so it's automatic damage. It's a flying maggot swarm. And it is now mutating on you. It does D4 plus 1 damage per round. Max damage, so 5 points of maggot damage. As these things get under your, get in every possible opening, and I mean that literally. They're all over you. I mean, you're surrounded by these things. And they have, some of them have wings and they're flying around in your mouth, in your eyes, in your ears. They're biting everywhere. When you look at them, you get a look at one of them, they're these little worms, maybe 1.5 inches long, but there are thousands of them, and they have these little lamprey-like teeth at the end of them, and little sort of vestigial wings that allow them to sort of move around and fly. Some of them are crawling on you, some of them are flying around you, trying to get on you, but it's really good.
Dex, splash me.
Man, I really wish we had the.
Dex is still on the thing going. All right, so you hear him say, Dex, splash me. All right, that's that. Bella.
All right, can I see enough to see what's going on?
Oh, yeah. So on one hand, you saw Tavian get zapped, and that thing's gonna zap again. It's sort of like cranking itself back up. Fascia now has this shield-looking thing about it that obscures your vision, but it's some sort of magical shield. Dustwar is sort of looking around, seeing what he can do. Jex is, bent underneath some creature, and you just saw a bunch of what looked to you like flying maggots land on Elib, and he is going crazy trying to get these things off. And he yells out, Jex, acid me, splash me, toss me, splash me. Don't tell the elf.
All right.
Don't tell Dustwar.
You
Don't
remember
tell
my little fan thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that.
All right.
Toward Elon.
Toward Elib, try and,
See if we can get the worms off of.
all right. You're pretty far away. You want to move closer?
Closer a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I don't know how effective it would be out past 10 feet, because you're talking about a rope.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so,
I need to move closer and get it. Is that all I want to
Sure.
do? Okay, so. We can get-
Sassy, can you, or,
I
can you
think
move it?
I'm too short.
Yes.
Yeah, I just need to get closer over here. I can move 20. Is that close enough?
Yeah, I think that's close enough.
Okay.
You just jump right in front of Dustwar there, and then you're spinning this thing around as hard as you can. Give me strength check. Just roll a d20 and add your strength bonus.
23.
Yep. Yeah, 23. Wow, okay. So yeah.
Because my strength was 11 and I rolled a 12. Because I thought I was gonna be rolling.
Oh, no, the bonus, your bonus, I'm sorry, not the actual number.
Oh.
So it'd be plus 1. 12, okay. Hold on.
Because strength is 11 and then a plus 0.
Check something on this form.
It was being transferred over.
No.
Yeah, like it originally started in Japan. When did it originally?
Okay, in this case, so you're spinning it around and you do manage to blow a portion of these maggots sort of off away from her in this direction. Yeah, I'm sorry, in this direction, sort of away from it, but not all of them. So probably what you're guessing is that there will be some reduction in damage on the damage utilities thing, because they're not all there anymore. They're still sort of over here, so it's almost like there's a comet trail of maggots behind here, which may now affect Jex depending on what happens. Jex is under the thing, so, but,
Unless they start eating stuff, which they don't.
or the thing moves, which it may do. So,
He wouldn't be smart enough to say that.
but yeah, so that, to a certain extent, that worked. So Elib, you feel a sort of breeze, a very strong breeze, which is blowing some of this material away from you. You look around and you see Bella, who's just spinning that rope of hers with the spindle on the end of it, and she's spinning it as hard as can. It's generating wind that's blowing some of the maggots away.
We have to make like a specially designed weapon for this at this point.
Which she has.
We need like a feather fan token.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's doing okay.
It's like
I mean,
a weighted rope.
That's how we
Oh,
did.
that's what she has.
That's how we did this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I got an open rope with a fungal on
Oh,
one
nice.
and a grappling hook on the other.
Oh, my. This is delightful.
I've had that since day one.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Jex, you're up. You are still underneath this thing, but it has released a lot of pressure.
I'm going to try to scurry out from under it.
All right. Give me a Well, it didn't grapple you, so give me a reflex, check. Edge, roll D20, edge reflex bonus. Or acrobatics, you know what, give me acrobatics check. That's really what it is.
Let's see which one I prefer. Oh, they're both the same. Ha, natural 20 plus 8, 28.
All right, so you reach up, punch it, and then you feel it sort of rear back, and then you just, which way, where are you going? Into the maggot swarm? All right, so you're scooting around behind Elib, in between Elib and Bella, who is saving Elib.
No, he's more that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there, I'm on the side here.
I've got a clean shot. this
Yeah,
way,
okay.
and he's not in.
You're off the
line.
side, okay.
And I'm jumping up and doing corrosive touch to,
Well,
make
it's
it
a
on.
swarm. It's a swarm, so it's got swarm traits. You could put your hand in it. What you really need is an AOE of some kind.
Yeah, I'll do a splash.
Okay.
Acid splash is,
That'll
there we
work.
go.
The reflex.
Mhm. You got a hit, though, right?
Range touch. So it's just a touch attack,
Okay, and I know what the touch AC is.
and it's less than, 15.
No, it is not.
The touch AC is
Touch
more than
AC.
15?
Touch AC is the same as its regular AC. It's 16. You missed.
I'm trying to see if I can figure out another one.
All right, your splash goes wide of the maggots, which seem to sort of like, rear out of the way. It seems to sense the acid as it comes through. It hits some fungus on the wall and leaves a.
I didn't take
ugly
time to
smear down.
settle myself beforehand. Okay,
All right. Give me a reflex save. As the cloud shoots a lightning bolt at you, Jess.
huzzah!
Wow.
Me?
Yeah.
I made it. 24.
24 makes it. So
No.
9, 13, half of 13 is 6. You
No.
make it? Evasion? All right, as DM, I'm taking your evasion away.
Well, then I want the range touch plus 1.
No way.
I'll take the
All right,
other
fine.
damage if I get
An
help with
alliance.
this.
All right, so the right by your feet, you see that it, you sort of jump away. A lightning bolt in it. Again, that cloud, you see all of it. The cloud begins to coalesce again, and you can see the energy sort of building up again as it's going to try and shoot next round. Your guess is. In the meantime, John. Let's see what that does. Fascia.
Mhm.
You're looking into the center of the room.
Mhm.
What you, that's why, give me a perception check. 17. All right, so you see Fascia over on the side of the room, taking for standing up here.
Oh, wait a minute.
Both of them are
I got
sort of-
divine.
Okay,
21.
the gods are with you. So you look over and you see Tavian and Fascia, and most of them are either looking at where the lightning's about to strike or what's going on with Elib and Jax and everybody over there. What you see is a bunch of what look like roots or tendrils or fibers come out of the wall behind Fascia and just go and try and grab.
Can I do a spell check with it? See what it would?
Sure. I need a reflex save from Fascia.
What's that?
It didn't matter. 12.
Yeah, you're not sure about this one. Yeah, funky tendrils or root call or something like that, who knows?
9 for me.
9 on the reflex save, you are grappled. I'm sorry, you get the entangled condition, which is a clue as to what this might be. Entangled condition is you're essentially ensnared. Being entangled impedes movement that is not entirely prevented unless the bonds are anchored to an immovable object or tethered to an opposing force, like a cave wall. An entangled creature, in this case, you cannot move, run, or charge. You take a -2 penalty on your attack rolls and a -4 penalty to dex. If you try a spell, you have to make a concentration check or lose it. But you are stuck in place. I don't like this druid. You can also feel thorns begin to grow out of the tendrils of the roots and begin to against your skin. Yes?
Does that count as a melee attack, Esther?
No, it does not.
Worth a shot.
Okay, Duswar and Tavian.
So,
Okay, so with that, can I keep that same, since I saw that with a perception check, can I keep that same roll to see what else is going on in the room?
Here's 21.
I mean, I'll roll again if you want to, but I mean, because here's my question. I mean, I'm gonna do something, but I need to know who, you know, do they have the maggot swarm over here under control? Do they have that over there? You know, who's in the worst situation here?
Oh, boy, okay. That's a judgment call, all right? So Elib, he's still covered in maggots, but Belladonna is sort of like using that thing of hers to blow the maggots away. Jax seems okay, he's injured, but he doesn't look like he's covered in some sort of invisible creature right now. So he seems the best. Obviously, to your eyes, Elib is taking damage from these biting maggots. It's not as much, there's not as many of them, but they're still all over him. Tavian seems fine. Fascia is now sort of up against the wall of the cave, and there's a bunch of like roots and stuff that have gotten her like pinned like this, right? Up against the wall of the cave. And those roots are growing thorns, which are going to probably.
Right, which I see based on my most recent, okay.
Yeah. Your guess is probably Elib is in the most clear and present danger right now.
Okay, so I am summoning a small fire element.
Really?
I was gonna say if you have, I'll use a.
Here, I got it. Nah, we got something. All right, something a small fire element, okay?
So.
Now you can place it wherever you want.
I know.
Red side is the fire.
Excellent, okay, so.
That is a full round action, remember?
I know.
Okay. So that's all you can do, but it can't attack this round, but it
I
can
know,
attack next.
but I can do slam, I'm putting it here
Okay.
with the thought that this is the area that of work, so to speak, of
Right.
whatever this druid is. So on this attack, I'm gonna start catching all this stuff on fire, moving toward Elib.
Elib's that way.
I'm sorry.
Tavian.
Tavian.
Okay, just wanna make sure.
That's up to you to jump out of the way.
Well, that's just, acceptable loss.
Yep. So now it's your turn, and you see, I guess what you would see now is the beginning of like fire and brimstone begin to form.
Yeah, you see a hole in the air begin to open up wider.
I've seen Dustmore summon a fire elemental.
Dustmore is up to something over there, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you would have probably just seen me doing this, you know,
If nothing
whatever.
else, I know that the guy who's making
He's
all
always
this
doing
plant
that.
shit happening is probably not going to summon fire to burn everything down.
Well, no, probably not, yeah.
I'm gonna. Is there still a storm cloud in the fucking ceiling?
There sure is.
Can I roll a perception to try
He's a primary target, not me.
to find this son of a bitch?
You could roll a perception check, yeah.
I was gonna say, aren't you up high?
I absolutely don't.
Okay.
That was a 1.
You want me to drown your sorrow?
Yes.
You want to try the homemade meat?
No, here you go.
Never mind, I got the meat.
Very good.
Yeah, looks good.
I got the meat.
Oh, you're gonna drink that? Beth, you
Yes.
don't want yours?
No, I'm good.
Insult them. Insult them all. I got to.
No, it's it's good, it's just, you don't want to get handle around that well, yeah. Sorry, just a very little bit. Well, that's what I said, when you gave me a wine book.
Yeah, can I give you anything? Nope. You not drinking tonight? Nope. Okay. I don't see him.
Why aren't you guys drinking? They're making me nervous.
I'm not drinking because Jonas is out tonight, and, I have to take over with you in case he does something stupid, I have to get it.
That's pregnant.
And what?
And Donna's pregnant.
You're pregnant?
If I was pregnant, I'd wanna know who did it.
Yeah, really.
I wanted,
My first question.
It's one of three.
I'm gonna try
That was a hell of a thing we did.
That was a hell of a Gen Con.
Hell of a time.
Try that,
We're
see
gonna
what
have to think on.
Who knew that show's going down?
It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me.
Things were hot and wet out there.
Isn't that good?
This could be Mamma Mia in,
It's
18
splendid. You gotta be
years.
careful with it. 2 bottles of that and you'll feel it. You'll feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Usually,
Yeah. It's got a little.
Oh, I know, I've had it before. I'm gonna
All right,
move.
so would you roll on your perception?
A 1.
Oh, 1, okay, great. Yeah, no. All you see is Thrushmoor
Ah!
doing a bunch of stuff. Sassy's got some thorns growing around her, and now there seems to be a fire alarm that's on the work table.
I'm gonna try and cut away some of the thorns around us.
Well, don't
All
get
right,
me.
so you're getting your gladius out, or you had
It's already out. It's
You're
been
just
out.
like
since-
sawing at that thing.
I've had it up the whole time.
My gladius has
In his
been
hand.
fully out of my hands.
I've had it out in my hand. the
Ready
whole
for
time.
this.
I just walked around with it in my hand.
Just waiting for
Waving
the right
around.
moment. Just waiting for the
Just
right
pointing
moment.
things out. Just, what's that over there?
Takes me back to my college days.
Sorry,
I had my
what
gladius
do
out, and I
you
was
do
just
with
waiting for the right
Yeah,
moment.
you're welcome for trying to save your freaking
I
life.
said,
here.
don't hit me.
All right, so you're grabbing onto some of these things, and you feel like, you know, they're obviously moving. I mean, these roots, which don't normally happen. And you can feel some of, yeah, you can feel some of the spikes in them, and they're growing thorns like rose thorns. And then you just like crank it out and trying to
I'm
do that.
trying to chop.
Give me an attack
through
roll,
it.
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty damn good. This wouldn't be an enemy, so I'm not really able to. 25.
25, oh yeah, all right, so you cut through several of them,
Wish to God I'd been using my dagger. That would have been a crit. So yeah,
Hey, use your dagger. Roll a D4.
Yeah.
2.
2, all right, so. That's good. Bastian, Tavian's over there and he's sawing on these kind of things and he's breaking them off and he's got several of them off. You can feel it sort of loosening. So you will get a +2 on your reflex save next round to try and extricate yourself from the thing.
So
basically
basically
you're-
damage. I'm just.
Yeah, it doesn't, it's just roots, yeah, more of them keep coming out, but next time she'll get a bonus on her reflex save.
I'm guessing the light in this room has definitely increased considering there's a freaking fire elemental just showing. in the
Starting
room
to,
now.
yeah, it's like, it's starting to get a little campfire in here.
Oh, great.
You live in Dacia. You're next. Oh, wait, fungus is next, then.
I want to continue to attack the invisible, easy, funky blob thing, because I really can't.
You got your hands in it,
Yeah,
kind of. I mean, you're sort of ignoring the maggots.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so a natural 20, which makes it a 31.
Okay, that is a hit. You want to
28.
confirm?
No, the 28 was the second hit, so confirming. That's 20.
Wait,
Two paws.
that's confirmed, correct.
Okay.
So the 21 hit.
confirmed hit, crits.
The second one was just a hit, right? It
Second
wasn't
one's a regular hit.
regular hit. So 1 confirmed crit, one
I will take
regular.
the chart for the credit.
All right. Yep. All right, so this is considered a natural attack, yeah?
Yep.
Tenacious wound. Target suffers max and 1d2 con.
So max, I rolled max for both, if that's done.
Oh.
So 28 points of damage and not the con damage.
Okay, con damage isn't really gonna matter, because it's a fungus. But basically, you got both hands in this thing, and you bury your hands in it and start pulling them apart until you hear this kind of like ripping sound. Eventually, it just gives way and you just go like this, and suddenly it's visible. And
There are ducks in here.
it looks like this. Basically, you've ripped it in half and thrown it on the ground.
I thought you were one of the tarot cards.
Well, it's dead. You're still. I'm going to. All right, Tassia, it's your turn.
Also, quick question. So since the maggots are still up high, does that mean they're more likely to get struck with the lightning?
No, the maggots are. Do you have any Arcana or Spellcraft skills?
I do a spellcraft.
Do Spellcraft that for me.
Put it onto the reflex first.
We'll get to that. You're so fascinated by this this spell stuff that
16.
16. Your guess is that those bolts are targeted.
Okay.
Now, how exactly this probably has to do with it's a concentration spell, so I mean you can change targets automatically, but it's probably just the will of whoever casts it. But yeah, it's not randomly shooting lightning around, it's targeting. Give me that reflex then. Remember, you get an extra +2 on top of whatever else you've got going on.
12 this time.
12 total?
Yeah.
It's still in there.
The last roll was really good though. It was a 14.
Still in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shortly, either by me or the fire.
The thorns
Everybody's
begin,
dying.
the thorns begin to crawl under your armor. The roots and everything begin to crawl under you, and you feel the pricking of a bunch of different small sharp thorns, which causes 2 points of damage.
And that's not a melee attack.
It is not a melee attack, it's a spell attack. They're just growing. But you feel like the more that they grow, the more damage they will do. Because ultimately, eventually, all of these roots will have thorns on them.
Yeah.
Okay? That's it for you?
Yep.
All right. So, maggots. 2 points of maggot damage. As they continue to swarm around you and try to reform in the face of the wind that Bella is creating with her rope. Bella, it's your turn. You can stop with the rope and let the maggots do that him because that would be the right. He can take it. Okay.
What you really want to do is fan that flame that's starting.
Give me another strength check. D20 plus your strength bonus, which I think is 0. Right? 16. All right. So more of the maggots are being sort of blown off as part of that thing. So there's you're probably dealing with about half damage right now. You've got about half blown off. Now they're not. Here's the thing about this: they're not dead. So once the wind stops, they're going to go back to looking for a target, or reforming the swarm. So they're not dead, but they're off of her for right now. Him for right now.
So in other words, let's just get them off and somebody splash them with acid.
Somebody certainly could. And that would be now, perhaps. Yes. If you care to splash them with acid. Yes, I do it. 12 plus 8 was 20. 20 points of 20 to hit. That's a hit. 20 to hit. You blast right into that comet tail. 3 points of damage. 3 points of acid damage to this one. Well, you can see that some of the maggots, I mean, you blasted into it. And you've got a whole bunch of them, and a bunch of maggots fall out of the ground and they're writhing on the ground at even feet. But it's certainly not all of them. It sounds like your laptop's taking a shower.
The fan's fun.
It's going into
All right.
landing, yeah.
Jess, you wanna move or anything?
I'll make a 5-foot step back this way so I have a little more room,
Okay.
but yeah, well within range still.
Gotcha.
I'm working on it, friend.
By the way, thank you for that light.
You're welcome. Okay.
I don't think I've used it quite the way you intended me to use it.
No,
No, that's okay.
I'm thinking I understand. Improvisation is great.
She's gonna do that. So out of the wall, you see somebody dead.
Finally.
You realize that they weren't in the wall, she was embedded and cunningly hidden in the fungus itself. You could see this as you're spinning that stuff around through the thing.
It's again.
Sort of like step out. And there's this woman who steps out dressed in homespun kind of clothing, obviously homemade clothing. She has a long wooden carved spear that's got no metal on it. But you can see the tip is coated with some sort of molasses-like material that is glowing with a sort of like a brownish purplish glow. And she steps out and she looks at the fungus and she says, you hurt my friend. And she comes over here, avoiding the maggots, and stabs you with that spear, or tries to. We'll see. We'll actually see if he stabs you. It's got a purplish radiance coming off.
Is she 10 feet away?
So, and I'm large, so my face is lower.
Is she 10 feet away?
10 feet away from whom?
You.
You look kind of busy, surrounded by maggots.
Oh,
True,
I'm
but
large, so I
she
have
has. Hold on, I gotta figure that out. That's not even what I was going for, but
Well, she's got a spear, so she probably would.
a long. Is it a 10-foot pole?
either way,
Well, it's not a short spear, but
if it's a spear, she has to be within, she has to be 10 feet away.
according to this, it's a massive spear.
So she has to be 10 feet away in order to use it.
All right.
Because we learned that a little while ago. Reach weapon. Yep, all reach weapons
All
have
right,
to be.
she's gonna come around this game
like distance.
to there and try to stab you with the spear, not provoking, because you're both at range.
But yeah.
That sucks.
The assault is in the range. When that's still an able.
No. Well, actually,
It's probably not gonna hit, but I gotta check one thing.
What
They're
weapon are
both
you
of them-
using?
it will,
What weapon are you
If
using?
you look,
right now, it's my boss.
if you look at still in
So
large.
you got 10-inch reach, you get, they both have 10-inch reach. 10-foot reach.
So then one of that's,
Still provoking
yeah,
attack
that's still above the
proximity because-
attack, because it's still within the distance that's.
No. If you're both sitting there with 10-foot reach,
12 immediate.
it's like being both with 5-foot reach.
Okay.
But both with
Yeah.
5-foot reach, but it's provoking attack opportunity for using weapon against me.
It would negate the reach weapon because you're right next to each other as you're saying a 5-foot.
But
You're both 10-foot,
for having a reach weapon, if she were 5 feet from me, wouldn't be, or
Would impact her ability to use that weapon.
right, okay.
Libby's right.
What I was saying is, if you're both 10 feet apart using reach weapons, it's like not using reach weapons and being 5 feet apart.
but I'm not using reach weapons,
You have reach though because of your,
my size,
right. Your reach is 10 foot.
right,
Her reach is 10 foot because of the weapon.
right.
Neither one of you have an attack of opportunity if you're just sitting in one spot fighting.
Yeah, it's essentially like two giants fighting each other. But the point Libby was making is if I was within 5 feet, I wouldn't be able to bring my spear to bear,
in a-
it's too big.
right.
My point or the point I'm trying to make was that.
That is not on the front.
They're.
It's a hit,
the same
okay.
distance every
So
time.
she does
So
manage
that
to.
would- I
do
always
that,
get
do
confused by
that
that
sphere.
concept.
So, we have, so a couple of things are gonna
So
happen.
much. Despite
Uh,
my use of it.
Spear damage is, weapon damage itself is
Well,
6.
You should note second edition then, because hardly
anyone
anyone
has-
And then the stuff
like I
on
just
the
said, I'm
end
glad I'm
of
Levi, I don't have to worry about that shit.
it, 6.
Like a fort save or anything?
Oh, we're not there yet, not from that, you know, because it's not, the goo itself is not doing any damage to you, it's not poison. This is essentially a enhancement spell for the spear. So she's giving her spear magical power, which does extra damage. So, in this case. Well, so another 6 points from the ensorcelment, so a total of 12 points of damage of spear. Basically, she's got a masterwork spear that she has ensorcelled to become better and do more damage. Okay? It's a variant of those.
You were bellows and pain.
Okay?
Oh,
And it is
that's a great sign.
Dufflar and Tavian's turn.
Right.
Me either. Do you have?
Well, I mean, do a roll a perception check to see if I see this. So a 17 on perception to see if whether to determine whether I see this druid come out of because I was gonna go in that direction,
Come out of the stone there.
but now I'm wondering if I should go in this direction.
You heard Gila yell out.
Well, so the problem in that direction is that there's essentially a comet cloud of biting lamprey maggots that's blowing in this direction. Right, so that whole area is sort of like filled with maggots because Bella is blowing the maggots. She's whirling that rope so hard that it's creating a fan effect and it's blowing maggots off of Elid, which is reducing the amount of swarm damage that Elid takes every round. But there's maggots in that area now. So
Okay.
somebody to go in there.
So I'm gonna, okay, with the intent that if I can,
So she came out of like right here,
Right.
kind of like sort of scooting across here to get around and get.
Okay.
us
well,
down, you know.
I'm gonna work with the assumption, the plan to free up more or to, I guess, free up more of my comrades to then attack this. So one, the fire elemental goes here.
Okay, here's
So- Yeah, so there's gonna be immediately 1d4 burn damage on the table.
Okay.
Give me a second, let me make sure what that's all about.
And the dried herbs and materials on the table immediately catch fire and
Right.
smoke.
So let's make sure. Damage, and on a slam. Yeah. 1d4 plus burn. Okay, so they immediately take 2 points of damage, but ignite.
Right.
Okay, and then, so then move, while you're over there,
Mhm.
move it towards you.
Okay, like here?
As far as I can, because the point is igniting everything that's along the wall.
Oh, so it's gonna move this way,
No, the other way.
oh, into this. So that's like a pile of detritus, but it will ignite too.
That's fine.
All right.
Now,
so
I am moving toward Thessius.
Okay. So great. So soon, Thassia, you will ignite as well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay,
So
so,
yeah, so the table,
That's
there's a
kind of-
lot of stuff on the top of the table that are now on fire.
That's
They're on
fine.
fire.
so, that doesn't take concentration. I mean, I
Nope,
just
It's operating
move,
on our own. I mean, you basically order the element.
that's right, to do that. So then, so do I get it, can I do something else now too?
Sure. Yeah, now the elemental is operating on its own. Fabian, you noticed that the cloud is gone. A little electrical shooting cloud.
Oh, thank God. All right.
Alright, I have no ranged weapon. Then I am moving in here,
Okay.
I guess that's 5, 10 feet, and casting, bless.
Okay. Does Bless reach far enough that Tavian and Fascia will get it?
Huh?
Is it 50 foot?
I didn't think it was 50 foot. It is 50 foot.
I'm sure it's 50 foot. I'm sure it's 50 foot.
All right, yeah, it is 50
50
foot.
foot, Libby knows.
All right, yeah, Lib knows everything. So, okay, so I'm gonna position myself so that everyone is engulfed in the bless.
Okay.
And then, cast bless.
All right, you guys get blessed.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Oh,
Y'all let me say it.
oh, bless your heart.
Bless.
Yeah, +1 morale bonus to attacks and saves versus fear.
Okay.
And that would probably be all I can. And I would draw my, I'll have my saber tooth. My sawtooth, sword.
Sawtooth blade.
Yep.
Okay, all right, you are all blessed. Tavian, you are up.
Well, this fucking fire is now moving closer towards me and Stasia.
Well, you know, it's not a fire, the fire is really on the table. What you see now is a creature made out of fire that's moving towards you.
Either way, to me, it's a giant fire. I'm gonna try and cut Stasia free faster now.
Okay.
So that way,
You double your efforts.
yeah, so that way
Alright.
we don't end up taking damage when this thing comes by. Yeah, I don't have time to rip the other one out now.
Ooh, look at that.
Actually,
I
I don't have two. I don't have the woman fighting.
That sounded like you said, I don't have two women fighting.
Unfortunately.
23.
23's a hit. I mean, you're sawing away at these roots, okay?
You said nothing about having Jello in this cave.
No. We had Jello wrestling one time, but I hit my head on some fruit cocktail.
So what should I roll here?
It's a thinker.
I don't want to think. I don't want to think about it. I want to just roll.
All right, roll d12. And in this case, add 1.
Okay, 2.
All right, so,
Thank God you said that.
all right, so in this case, you will get +4 on the next one, because it's compounded. It's continuing to saw pieces of these roots off. And there's not an infinite amount of roots there. Yes.
Can you remind me real quick of the rules regarding 2-weapon fighting?
You have to have the feet.
All right.
That would be rule 1. You have,
You don't have to have a feat. You can take some mega penalties.
I think it's
-6 on the
-6
sword.
on the offhand and -4 on the primary hand.
Yeah.
Two weapons fighting without the feet.
Don't use it without the feet.
No, that would be done.
So I just backed these people.
Did you do it?
And they've already made their goal. Their goal was 2,000. And,
That's it?
and they made like 60 or 68,000,
The Kickstarter is one of those things.
62,000.
So once you get sort of things working appropriately, and we have some material and some good ideas, we gotta start looking into things like this. We really are because that's a really nice way to make the money you need, for example, to buy art. And to commission things. like
So
that.
hopefully I'll get 133 STL files for printing miniatures. Eight 5e adventures, both in PDF and the book.
Yeah.
And they'll all be adventures that are compatible with Roll20, all with dynamic lighting and everything.
And any stretch goal.
And
Because sometimes they'll set new goals, you get extra stuff. Like if they make 4,000, 6,000, 10,000, those are called stretch goals. If they beat their be their target.
Two things now that we're talking about that. Now I'll go back to my thing. Can I retroactively change that if I wanted to use my quick sheet to draw my dagger and make 2 attacks? It would still be, because even with the number that I rolled, it would still be a 19, which I'm imagining still hits.
Yeah.
For the gladius. So then.
Yeah, roots aren't that hard to hit.
Fair.
I know.
You miss it?
Is it a 1?
Is it a natural
He
one?
missed it next week too.
I can't read his, dice.
Yeah.
Roll to confirm.
Confirm he missed.
It's a 1.
You fumbled on a root attack? Oh, boy, okay. I don't even know
rolled
if the
2
chart can
ones
deal
in
with
a
this.
row.
I see a,
Oh,
I
no.
see a bag of holding
Oh,
going into a
please, no.
haversack.
Oh, no.
All right, so the fumble is called Go for the Eyes. You are blinded until the end of your next turn.
How the fuck am I
No,
blind?
Christ.
Well, you were using your dagger and you were stabbing so hard that
That's
pieces
better.
of the roots came up and flew in your
You're
eye. One of
lucky you
them
didn't cut your own head off. We've been there.
We've
Yeah.
seen that.
We
Yeah.
lived that.
I've never seen anybody roll that. Well, it was 2 100s, right?
The guy that, the young,
It was Steve.
Steve,
yes,
Steve cut his head off.
the young
Yes,
kid,
yeah.
the young kid
with a
that
two-handed
was running
sword.
the one game at Gen
Yeah,
Con,
somehow we managed to
rolled
apparently
3 ones in a row.
swing it around.
That's when I took that picture of the dye prison. I gotta get one of those. It was so funny. He's like, okay, threw it in the prison, put the lid on it.
So I'm.
3 ones in a row.
How long am I blinded?
Until the end of your next turn.
I mean, that's not long.
As you step back, you're like, ah!
The fire's coming on you, buddy.
Yeah, Steve, so we gotta tell the Steve story, because I don't know.
No, I've heard.
You've
this
heard it?
story.
Steve Schindler, who you've met, we were on some mountaintop getting attacked by griffins. Steve's the fighter.
Right,
He's got like a 2-handed sword, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
So the rest of us are all squishy characters, so we're trying to escape from these griffins who are creaming us. And Steve's like, all you guys go into the cave in the mountain, I'll hold them off.
I got this.
I got this. Steve's standing out there and he's getting attacked by griffins, rolls a fumble. And so our DM Bob uses the old school Dragon magazine charts from years and years ago, which are D100.
Yeah.
So Bob's like, ha, roll percentile dice. Steve clocks out there, rolls percentile dice, 0.
Double 0.
Which is, Bob's like, oh man, goes to the
Go
bottom.
to
chart.
the sub table.
Go to the subtable. Well, so the first one is 0 is sever body part. So he goes, okay, we need to roll on the next chart. Also percentile dice.
To see what part you
See what part you severed. Steve rolls out, 0 again. Head. He cut off his own head. Instant death. I'd never seen anything like it before.
All right.
I mean, there was like a 30-second silence around the table.
Like, what just happened?
Did that just happen? Yeah. Steve's looking at the dice like, those are the best rolls and the worst rolls I've ever done.
How?
Unbelievable. Anyway.
That was his argument the whole time. But how?
Oh, how would I, so yeah, it's like, you must have just got put a cork around with that thing, yeah. That big 2-handed sword. Those of us in the cave all hear is the sword dropping to the ground and then the dull thud of the head dropping to the ground. You're blinded until the end of your next turn.
All right.
Eliv and Vasya. All right.
I use a move action
Okay.
to pull up my great axe,
Okay.
and then I wallop her with my great axe.
All right.
Plus 12 is 25 to hit. 26 plus 12 damage.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
It's my big friend.
You must.
23 points.
Youch,
Oh,
okay.
God.
23, you said?
23.
Wow, that was a big hit. So she's knocked backwards, and you can see the sort of like increasing desperation in her eyes, in that she just kind of did not necessarily realize the hazard that she may have put herself through.
I tried to
negotiate with her.
say,
Tried to
"Aren't
tell
here
her."
to fight.
Kill the woman's dog though. That's
They
bad
fucking
news.
attacked us.
No, I think the same thing.
Yeah,
Holiday
yeah,
attacked someone
they
and then they
attacked
attacked
us.
Holiday.
Look, you should admit that you guys are in the wrong,
Yeah.
from a dog standpoint. It's okay. I mean,
You just have a dog lover, it's fine.
If Holiday was actively trying to kill me or beat me, and I had to kill him to
Oh,
defend
yeah,
myself.
okay,
I'm
I'll
going to.
refresh one second.
sure, that's what every dog killer does.
I agree. If Holiday came at you to try to kill you, you'd have to defend yourself.
17.
If Holiday died,
Yeah.
You get loose. So
She
you
was
gotta
right.
lose. His
Oh,
chops
exactly.
finally got, he's like, oh, my eyes, I got thorns in my eyes. And you're like, and you rip yourself out. So you have done that. That's pretty much all you can do, but you are free of the roots, which are now like, sort of like trying to reach out. So you gotta step about 5 feet
shoot,
forward.
get us out of here. There's a flaming thing
Right,
coming
right,
at us.
Step like a
Okay, just
flare.
go 5 feet forward, yeah. As you rip yourself away from those. You do have some thorn damages and stuff like that. Scratches and
Yeah.
some knee damage. Bella. Oh, wait, maggot damage. I just like yelling that out. Maggot damage! Ooh, 3 points. Which, due to Bella's efforts, is now the maximum damage.
Due to budgetary constraints. Nothing is least to one thing.
Bella, you are up. Speak of the devil.
So still,
You've been called worse than what your name is?
Oh, I've been called worse than my
he
name.
said speak of the devil.
Ah, okay. I've been called.
Does it still look like
Okay,
the
Santa, I mean, Satan.
fan is working on the maggots?
It does, yeah. I mean, as long as you continue to spin it, they continue to fly away. I would do another strength check because you're starting to get tired.
I didn't really have that.
Well, you only ran for a couple of rounds. You're starting to get tired, but it hasn't negatively impacted your score. What happened?
One.
Did you roll one?
Was it a one? She got tired.
Stop.
Oh, it's a two, okay.
You do some sort of like, you get your arm in the way and it stops the fan.
The rope gets too long and it drops around just a little bit and it comes up.
Hit the ground, yeah, bounce, but stops. The breeze stops. Now, it's not like these things could fly back onto you in an instant, but they will begin to start coalescing. You can still, at this point, if you want to move or anything like that, you can do that.
How far away is the witchy lady?
From you, not very far, about
10, 15.
15 feet.
So I could bring my silver dagger.
Well, no, you can do a move
It
action
says,
because you're already
well,
doing.
it says range 10.
You
Right,
could,
but you can't do attack because you were trying to do something else. All you can do is move.
I'll tell you what, if you want, you can throw the plumb bob at it because you've got it already in your hand and it's already spinning around. If you wanted to do that, you would do that.
Okay,
You want to do that? Just like,
sure,
Okay.
give it a try.
do it.
Roll a range,
Range
attack. On the laptop tab,
Uh-huh.
underneath your base AC, you've got melee / range.
How about a 24?
That's a hit. So how much damage does your plumb bob do?
I don't remember. I don't know if you ever told me.
24.
1d4 plus 1.
I don't have it on my weapon.
The plumb bob can be used as a short range throw.
1d4 plus 1.
1d4 plus 1. 4 points of damage. Ow! Says the hits her in the knee.
I thought Captain bit you or something.
Captain jumped up and knocked over there.
Ow! Captain.
Right.
Good job. All right, so that's Bella. Jack, you are up. You hit the fungus in half, but it's still covered in that. There's now also this woman who's came out of the fungus on the wall and is now trying to poke you and has done so once successfully. The tip of her spear radiates a sort of brownish, purplish radiance. and it looks like it extends the point.
She's very hurt.
She's been hit pretty hard. You hit her hard with that axe, and she just got bumped in the knee by that plumb bottom. You can see her sort of stagger sideways a little bit. But she's not dead by any means.
I'm trying to decide whether I need to help Elib with the maggots or kill the witch. Kill the witch, the maggots disappear.
Not necessarily.
No, okay. Do it. 1 to 3, Elib.
Okay.
4 to 6, the witch. So 5, so I'm attacking the witch. My sorcerer bloodline lets me use 2 claw attacks 5 times a day.
Okay,
So I use 2 claws at the maximum attack thing.
okay.
And
You're just gonna, I guess you
Remember
right next
bless.
to her. And you got bless too.
I moved you here.
Right?
Do I get flanking?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, either of those 2 squares would be flanking, because if you move down even 1 more square that way, you would get flanking from Bella. So Bella can flank with her rope if she throws the plumb bob.
But if I do that, it's more than a 5-foot step. I'd only get 1 attack rather than 2.
Correct.
So that,
You can still do it.
I could, you're right.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so one's a hit and one's a miss.
Roll 1.
Yes.
I love a fumble.
But a natural 20 to confirm the
All right, so I'll
fumble.
confirm.
So just
a regular
one
number.
hit.
All right, so 1 hit.
7 points damage. The plus doesn't add to that.
No, it does not.
It's just plus 100.
7 points damage. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my claws do 1 to 3 minus 2. So it's always just 1 point damage from the claws. And that is one of those. Great power comes through the electricity.
All right. Let me take a 5-foot step with you. That's a spell, which means you get an attack.
Huzzah!
But she would rather take it from you than from you.
Oh, I would too. 22. To hit.
That is a hit.
1 point damage because it's not sneak attack.
1 point. Okay.
Wait, she has to make her concentration check of 1. I'm sure she'll make it.
There's always a chance.
There's a chance.
She has to roll a 1 or better.
I know.
Weirdly, she rolled it.
Oh, wow.
So it's okay. All right. So you probably see this, Jeff. You can see, so she got hit by an axe. There was a wound. There
Oh,
was
I
some
know,
blood.
yeah.
You see
My
that
buddy
wound?
is doing great.
You see that wound, which was bleeding, close up.
Oh, damn.
Now she's looking at you. So
I didn't do it.
that's what she does.
It wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Thrushmoor TV.
I'm blind, so go ahead.
Do
stuff.
You have to like run into a wall. Fall down. I gotta check these braille. The speed
Run
on
due east
this,
into the fire.
the speed on the small fire elemental is 50.
Okay.
So it should be able to make it to attack the
woman?
the witch, the druid from
Now-
behind.
You're directing it, so that's your move action.
Hey, Beth, where the.
You send it on its way,
fire
it'll
elementals
just
out
do
for a
this
little
without you doing anything.
Like
When
right
you
here,
say,
or-
hey, go get her,
On that like.
that's a
file.
move.
The fire elemental is moving towards, I think, is that correct? Or
We
moving?
don't know yet.
Yeah, that's better, because then the point is, if you can
You still have a
possibly,
standard action, but that's your move action.
okay, that's
You
what
can
I'm
still
saying.
attack.
I have to move, I have to step forward to attack from my position, but if I have to take my move, I have to move, what, 10 feet?
Oh, yeah. If you could move 5, you could do it still, but if you have to move 10, you can't direct that fire elemental and move 10.
I can,
Directing the fire elemental to do something different is a move equal to it.
which
Yeah.
sounds reasonable.
Oh, right. Oh, you guys are talking about Duskfire. I'm like, sure it can move. It's a fire elemental. It moves all the time.
But that's, yeah, the elemental can move, but
What are you guys
Duskfire has
arguing
to,
about? I don't think
Duskfire has to tell it to.
Okay, so I am going to use my move action and bring the fire elemental to here
Can attack.
and to attack. It should be flanking.
It's flanking.
It'll be
From
flanking.
Jets, yeah. All right. Those are it. She did, by the way, she did pure moderate.
Oh, okay.
Now, does my,
Yes.
bless, but no, I'm more interested, does my,
Bless doesn't count on the elemental because it wasn't here yet.
Oh,
okay, I'll take that, but because I have, divine favor going, do I get a second roll on, a bit of
For
luck?
summon creatures attack, I don't think so. I think divine favor only attacks, it pertains to you. Let me double check the. Let me double check. Personal, range is personal, so yeah, it's just you.
Okay, well, then its attack was 7.
That is a miss.
So, no, 7, well, +2 for flanking, 9.
Also a miss.
what?
Yeah, sorry. She knows it's there though, and she knows now that her work table is on fire because of this guy.
No, it's because of her. She didn't back off and let us communicate like people. She chose this fight.
Stop hitting
That's
yourself.
on
Stop hitting
her.
yourself. This is all your fault.
She picked this fight. We're finishing it.
So do I have a standard action?
Dogs.
Yes.
4 monsters. More likely than the road dogs and just possess them with spores. So she killed dogs first.
We're guessing, I'm assuming this is all just a misunderstanding on somebody's part. If you guys have come in here.
Nope.
parlay.
I got nothing else.
You got nothing? All right.
Attacked by a fire monster outside.
Katie, now is the time to make your point more vociferously to her.
I would love to. Unfortunately, I'm blind and don't know if
Oh,
the person
that's
that
right.
is right next to me moved.
At the end of your turn, you finally get a couple of those little thorns out of your eyes, and you're like, oh, God, that really hurt.
Well, during that, I'm still gonna be trying to like attack what I think are the vines because I don't know.
That's
if
your
she
roll of
moved
reflex.
away.
Again,
Not from the vines.
19.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, you can see that he's blindly swinging his gladius around,
Oh, okay.
and basically creating havoc.
Whoa.
Dude, oh, you broke free. Oh, good.
All right.
See the TikTok video of the guy and girl who are like doing play sword fighting, and the dog has a sword. And the dog
Yes.
starts running out. and
I
tries to-
love that dog. Yeah,
It's adorable.
sounds about it. I remember that one.
All right, Fassia, Elib, you guys are up now. And then Bella, you're up. Except for the,
I'd say she's gonna regret this, but she's not gonna live through it. Oh,
She'll
ow.
regret it.
maybe she is gonna live
And
through it.
how?
There's a 14 hit.
Does not.
Wow. The one time.
Oh, wait a second. You have to move towards her. She moved away from you. She's 15 feet away.
Then I take a 5-foot step forward and have a try to do that.
To where?
Like, I guess here then?
Ooh,
Yeah, there.
Maybe I'll teach her rabbits lie down.
Stupid maggots.
Basket. Good call. Chicken nuggets, so.
So where's the druid at?
Right by the fire element, between Jex and the fire element.
Oh, okay. I thought it was, that's why for some reason. I do have a bow now.
That's true. I have a nice bow now.
Since I'm away from the England one, I still have the negative steps.
Another arrow. No, you're free.
Yes.
Have a nice bow now. Have a nice bow now. There doesn't seem to be any arrows around.
Then I'm going to, try to attack the, druid.
Okay. Try to plant a few arrows in her.
Yeah, 21.
21's a hit. Ow, quit it.
3 damage.
3 damage.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, Bella. Maggots, you're sort of whipping that thing back up again.
No, usually the maggots have to go bragging.
That's right, the maggots. So they are moving back onto her. The comet cloud is moving back onto him, sorry. And it's not all the way there yet, but 2 points of damage, maggot damage. Now, Bella, sorry. Yeah, absolutely right.
Like, everybody's kind of gotten in between me and the witch thing.
Well, Jack certainly is. And you can see the witch woman is backlit by some sort of creature of flame. A creature of flame.
Lord for door.
Alright, that mask is what this works. Alright, so 15. Starting with fan.
Okay, 15 is good. Well, then you're starting to blow those things off for him, and you can see the maggot flowing the other direction. Excellent. Jax. The creature, the woman is looking down at you. Did you hit her this time?
I will.
The one time. Badly damaged?
Oh, yes.
Okay, my friend needs a medic. Do we have any medics anywhere?
No.
No.
Isn't Kevin the medic?
Which is why I'm so damn. He's been absent the last 2 times in a row.
Hold on.
That'll do it.
Hold on.
Hey, Kevin.
You have a healing potion? Sorry, I'm playing around. Let's go. Lay on hands.
Not hit, just
Yeah.
touch.
He's
5 foot step. And cure light potion
Okay.
to, my friend Elam, who is going to roll.
How are you deploying this
Yeah.
potion? You just,
I don't know that I'd be able to take it from you right now. I'm having disease.
well, he's got a double blade, she's got a great axe, right? He's got a great axe,
I'm like 10 foot tall right now.
right? Yeah, unless you're gonna throw it in his mouth, which is possible. Although you may end up having to do the Heimlich afterwards.
I gotta do the acid splash to get rid of the maggots, is what I gotta do.
Splash me.
Splashing her,
Okay,
splash him, splash, damn it,
I know, it's hard.
splash him.
Splashing the mags.
I got it a couple of times, but even then,
I
it's
know.
messing it up.
His range touch is much easier.
What does that mean? Like, Elid, you were hitting Elid's armor class?
They're on him.
What now? What
They're,
are you doing?
okay, I'm hitting the maggots with the range touch.
Okay.
If he aims at me. he's
Oh, I
gonna
got
hit
+1 for
me.
bless, I got 16.
Okay.
Because 15 was off by 1 last time.
Yep.
I
forgot the range, I forgot to bless them too. I could have had another one. Three more points.
3 more points, okay.
Of acid damage.
All right, that's good. That's good stuff. All right, so that was a 5-foot step. Which did not provoke.
Right.
Good, because she's gonna stab you with that sword and you're far enough away now, or her spear.
Good, good. I'd rather her hit me than
Fine.
my buddy.
And
Miss.
definitely hit ya. 25.
I dodged. I dodged my internal
You
organs.
dodged a bullet is what you did. 14 points of damage. And one of those was a 1.
Medic! Good thing I got a cure eye potion.
Kevin's at home going,
Oh?
that's. And she
Much rather it be me than you.
She's gonna also move.
I would. Not again, but once is okay.
She's gonna 5-foot step over here. All right,
Cast a spell?
no, she stabbed you.
Oh, okay.
She's just 5-foot stepping out of the way.
Just shake it.
She doesn't want it to make it too easy for you guys to flank her.
Yeah, I know.
Is she getting into the, food maggots?
She's away from it, but she's okay. Thrushmoor and Tavian.
Fireman.
Hold on a second. You can see now.
So the,
I don't like that.
oh, where'd the druid go? She moved.
She's right here.
Okay, so she took it. So anyway, that's right there.
Does she take automatic damage being that close to the elemental?
No.
Oh. Okay, okay.
Cool to hit. Oh, natural 20, so 24 to hit.
For the elemental?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a hit. You want to try and confirm an elemental crit?
Let's see.
Just keep rolling until you get something.
No, it's 19.
That's confirmed crit. That is a confirmed crit.
Yeah.
I'm just good at double damage.
Okay.
I want to make it easy. Yeah, well. I think it was 4 points.
4 points?
Yeah.
It still looks pretty good. Your suspicion.
But she's on fire.
Okay.
If she is anything combustible, let's burn.
Burn, 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 burn down.
Okay, so did you roll the fire damage?
Yes, that was a double damage
Okay.
before.
Oh, I get this, I get a reflex save to try and avoid touching fire. Do you know what the DC on that is? You don't know what it is.
DC of 11 only. allows-
I got 16.
Yeah, you went.
Alright, so I'm not on fire. But she did not like that.
Are you able to move the fire elemental to the right?
Can I just swing the fire elemental around? I mean, to the,
Yeah, it's an intelligent creature. I mean, it understands orders. It's like, move, move around.
Perfect.
For reasons that we're not entirely sure of. All right, is that it for you?
that's it.
My turn.
Except,
Is that? Oh, yeah, I got it. I like the second part.
6. I'm flanking her. I'm gonna. I'll attack twice. Why not?
You moved. Can you attack twice?
I don't know. Remember how that works.
You get a single attack. If
One
you
attack
move.
with the dagger.
Unless you're two weapon fighting.
I don't have the feet,
You don't have the
so,
feet yet. Okay.
so with the dagger it is then. 24.
That's a hit.
Single point of damage. 1 point.
All right.
Do not try attacking her with your plum this round, because there are 2 friendly people between you and her. Crazy. Don't try using your plum attack against her because there's friendly between you.
That's why I didn't swing
You
anything
got it.
earlier, because you were in the way.
Sorry.
All right. Elid Fascia.
Step forward again.
You can do a 5-foot diagonal where you like.
I like to do both.
Yeah. With a fire elemental.
Here?
Yep.
Over me?
Yep.
He is
He's
large,
big
yeah.
and he's flanking with a fire elemental.
Alright. I hate this thing.
27 to hit.
That's a miss.
It doesn't threaten critical, but it is 24 points of damage.
Wow. Okay. Still up, man. That hurt though. Jesus Christ. All right. That's Elid Fascia. What about you?
I'm gonna try to attack it again.
Some of that.
Arrows.
My bow,
Exploded.
nat 20.
I'm thinking
Whoa,
about. I'm thinking about
okay.
that.
You want to
That I
try
do
to
is-
confirm it?
So intense, so that's not gonna do.
I'll go to crit charge.
Well, you
If
got
I
to
can confirm it, yeah.
If you confirm it. If. That's a big if.
11.
The 11 is not a
11
confirm.
plus
It's a regular hit.
what?
And you do get exploding dice.
Oh, I know. I've got it. Unfortunately.
You explain that?
Yeah, hold on, so 5 damage.
5 damage. Okay. All right. Maggot damage. 1 point. So, Bella, you're up. Here's the problem. If you keep using the rope to blow the maggots off, they're gonna blow onto, well, in this case, they're gonna blow onto the woman. Yeah, I guess the druid.
My ability to use.
But also onto,
Somebody's in the middle.
Is somebody?
I don't know who it is.
I cannot wait.
Oh,
for
that's
that one.
Tavian. Yeah. Yes, it'll go on Tavian.
Please don't blow it on me. I've had enough shit happen in this.
Yeah, I'll get it out. Yeah, we're ready.
So,
Looks like a Tavian shaped clock.
Oh, just use this one. Well, that's the original one.
On me again.
still there.
so. I'm gonna move around that way just a little bit.
Okay. Can you?
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Good.
Alright, can I move and throw a dagger?
Sure.
Okay.
You throw a dagger at Tavian?
No. Did I have room to get
Unfortunately,
one more
it'd be
cube over?
Like regular lights and.
You wanna throw you wanna throw the plumb out?
Well, none of them are dependent, but
Well, no, I
I
mean,
think I've got a pretty good shot.
it's a ranged weapon. I mean, you can miss it. That's it.
You could have moved to here
Yeah.
and still be 15 feet away to hit him.
Going for the other knee?
Yep.
Doink.
Rah, rah, ree, kick me in the knee.
Rah, 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 kick him in the other knee.
I was sure like you once, then it took a bullet.
That took a plumb
Alright,
bob to the
do me
knee.
a favor, what did you tell me the specs were on this thing?
I'm actually adding it because I know.
1d4 plus 1?
The damage is 1d4 plus 1. It's just a regular ranged weapon. So here's the entry. It's 100 foot of really nice lightweight elvish made rope with a grappling hook on one and a plumb bob on the other. The plumb bob can be used as a short range thrown weapon, 15 feet, 1d4 plus 1 damage, and adds +2 to aid another chest. And it also extends flank range.
It extends flank reach.
Yeah. For other people.
All right, so. It's getting everything.
Sort of one.
Oh, 14.
Oh,
14's a miss.
Yeah, I looked at it and I thought, oh, son of a,
Not in my luck, it would have absolutely.
no, that's.
Some of us have.
Dennis.
Okay. Writing down the quote. The plumb bob.
Not gonna have the, I was a druid like you once.
That may end up being the title of this
Episode.
So, yeah.
Perfect, so I'll take it.
All right, so that was Bella. Top of the order, Jex, you are up. You are in where? You're behind Elib, if I can tell. There's like a line of people waiting to hit that person.
We're making a conga line and beating the shit out of a woman. We're basically airplane.
Mhm.
Gladius and a dagger and a whip. We're basically the human airplane. It's just one person after another just smacking a woman.
Can you get 'em up? All right, so you're running all the way around
No, I'm running this way.
over the top. That's difficult terrain.
I can, I can make it.
Okay. I was gonna say, it's a wall of dead fungus.
She does get an attack of opportunity against me.
Yeah, she is. Maybe not. For 16?
What, this,
That's a miss.
it's a
Okay.
miss. I'm gonna attack.
Okay.
I should take a potion. I'm going to attack.
You get flanking because you're
I
flanking
know.
with Bella
And bless.
and Bless.
17. Should hit. Oh, you not hit her. 17.
So he's a miss.
Okay, I drink a potion instead.
You can't do that. You can't change it mid go there. That's no good.
Well, I have foresight, so if I know I'm gonna miss, I can redo my action.
No, you can't. That's not a thing. All right, no, it's just a regular old miss.
Give me a second for Wikipedia. It'll be a thing in a second.
I'm just gonna archive
Jex is done. 4. He's killing Caleb.
Well, hopefully I'm an investor now.
We're all invested in murder.
Invested. Is it invested? It's
You
invested.
have a vested interest in something, you're
Invested in it, okay.
He's gonna do a full withdrawal action.
Wait,
To here.
That's I gotta.
what?
Oh,
I don't
it's
get to
an
a
attack of opportunity.
Not with a withdrawal action.
Yeah,
He's doing a full withdrawal.
do a full try and move directly away from,
Oh, yeah, I want to be able to.
Yeah, I do.
and only the first square that you, move to counts.
All right, so she'll move to this one as part of the full withdrawal, and then she'll do the rest of her movement too. And she's moving directly away from all of
Right,
it.
so she's moving closer to the fire that's now engulfing the wall.
Well, but that's not attacking anything, it's just.
It's just her desk's on fire.
You're moving closer to a campfire.
What she's doing is she's putting that cave wall behind her back, she's sitting against the flank right there.
Oh, don't worry, she'll continue to do so. Cover flanking with the wall.
All right, that's what she's doing. Dustwire and Tavia. Can I go first this time? She's leaped away and put her back against the wall. She's got a spear up. You can also see that she's maybe doing some preparedness. Right. What did I say? Leap? I like it. Okay, it's English.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna move to there because I do not want to.
All right. No, she won't get attacked, Robert. She already used it on Jack.
But if it was a new round, she would.
No. She's not the first. She didn't get it back. Jack's is first. He moved, she attacked.
Oh, it's at the
opportunity,
top
so-
of every
Yeah,
round, not.
yeah,
lower.
so she's
Right.
not gonna attack opportunity.
Again, but all right, same thing.
Same thing. Okay. You roll the same on the second one?
Same skill roll.
What about just one, okay.
So the fire elemental is heading back that way to attack.
All right. David, did you attack?
No, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Somebody jumped in and now I've got.
I'm sorry, you kept saying that I should go first, so anyway, I rolled.
This time, I said, can I go first this time?
I'm sorry, I was talking about. How about listen?
You were actually talking.
Oh, yeah, I'm fucking.
What was that?
Yeah.
It's not the thing.
That's a 21 to hit.
That's a hit.
Oh, 2 points of damage.
2 points of gladius damage. All right.
As I walk up to
20
it,
hit.
I tried to stop
20
this.
hit. And only 1 point of damage.
1 point of damage. All right.
But if you roll the DC 11 or so, or she's on fire.
Who got her? Meg. She's good at dodging those blows. Elib and Bastia.
Where's the cat? Where's the cat? Well, come here. Won't you come up here? Oh, no, he's got. Oh, you got it. Pretty much.
So not flanking, so 22 to hit.
Wait, you gotta move.
I said I move up to
Oh.
attack her.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that.
You got all the maggots flying. I love that hat.
Really,
Yeah.
is that where that was?
I'm sorry?
Well, Brent is-
That's part
I
of
was
it.
gonna say, like, half this table, or not
Yeah.
half the table, but. What's in this table?
Wow.
So let's do it now.
Does it 22 hit?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be
I was gonna say.
23 points of damage.
You come running up, and the axe, she's fighting off these two guys. Or the thing is, she's got that spear and she's whipping it around, and you see a moment with it, she's like pivoted the wrong way and not defending. And that axe just comes right through, hits her about here, comes all the way down. You can feel the sternum split.
And she's still alive?
And she's like, and the spear drops to the ground, and you're just like, and you rip the axe back, and she's practically, her abdomen is practically in 2 pieces at this point. Blood and organs and viscera just come piling out. She falls sideways onto her desk, her hands are in the fire at this point. She falls down in front of it with a small scorching little tiny fire that is now on her hair and her and on her clothing as she begins to burn a little bit as she falls to the ground. And we fall out of initiative.
I grab her and pull her out of the fire before she gets too burned.
All right, you drag her out.
Yep.
Also, you guys, whoever's been wounded, take 7 hit points back of healing.
Okay. Not to look at the person now, apparently,
Awfully
but
suspicious.
why?
You don't know.
Ooh, I know why. We have the greatest GM ever.
That's certainly not.
That is certainly not the case.
But on record, I want to say that. Oh, there's a lot of stuff on my notes now.
Don't get me wrong, as an okay GM, I appreciate a good kiss up.
It's like, oh,
Don't forget to tell him, don't forget to, tap him whenever you're done. Just tap him on the back of the head. I'm gonna try and
Find a magic dagger. Plus one.
I'd have a maximum of 2 points of damage.
There
every
you go.
round.
All right, so, also the maggots, once she's dead, the maggots tend to discombobulate, the swarm sort of breaks apart.
Hey,
And
I
they
was
are
right.
no longer, magically cohesive, but the floor is covered in maggots. That are sort of like wandering about.
I stomp on as many as I can.
You just
I
stomp them.
use acid splash. I'm just.
Just squirting acid splash around.
Just have the fire elemental burn them all.
The fire elemental could vacuum him up before he goes. All right,
Alright,
but yeah, so we drop out of initiative, the cave, it's a little smoky. There's some dead fungus, yes?
Well, one is a shirtless bear telling us that only we prevent forest fires.
No.
And you wonder
Oh,
why,
oh,
we're-
oh,
and you
oh,
wonder
oh,
why
oh,
we don't listen to you.
Well,
No bear.
second is.
There is a hat though. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he's
There's
not
a
naked,
bugbear.
he's shirtless. He doesn't have a hat
It's a
on.
bugbear. There's a bugbear there saying only you can prevent dungeon fires. I'm gonna put her out.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna search her body.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take her spear and put it off to the side.
Well, so the spear, it's made entirely of wood. There's no metal at all on it, but it is carved pretty intricately. It does have some molasses-like goo at the tip of it. You're not sure what that is. But the bluish brown sort of aura that was emanating from the tip is now gone. It's exquisitely carved. Somebody spent hundreds of hours maybe.
Minutes, maybe dozens of minutes.
That comes later when she gets quick.
She also is wearing, so she's got these kind of like weird kind of shawl clothes on. That are like homemade looking textiles and that kind of stuff. They're pretty ratty looking, but you pull them off and you find that she's wearing a set of armor that is made of wood, and it is also exquisitely carved, and it radiates magic.
Is there something that I should roll in order to find everything else? That's
There's a small, you're guessing wooden case, like a tube that,
Hold on.
unscrews at one end.
Hold on, 1 second.
We keep track of treasure in this one.
Me, essentially.
Okay.
So. So what a magic armor.
We start the scenario and they give you 10 small pouches of gold.
What a magic spear.
To buy things.
The spear in itself is not magic, does not radiate magic,
I'm like, okay, I'll hold
but
on.
it is exquisitely made.
Why is the rogue getting these? I'm like, okay, what?
And then what else?
A wooden cylinder
So I
that
played a rogue
unscrews at one end.
in one of these, when this young kid was, and so to fix something, we had to use a magical, he was using one of your crystal things on it. And so the guy says, well, I'm gonna put them on top
A
of,
large.
without
pouch
hesitation, said,
that has
which
a bunch
bucket
of
we
like
put it in?"
herbs and shit in it.
And they all looked at me,
Mushrooms.
they really did, they all looked at me, and I'm like,
But you
Just
just
curious.
But your guess is they're all organic pebbles and little fetishes and stuff like that. Not like that kind of fetish.
In
And the last thing that you find is,
and every night.
sort of dangling from a little homemade cord on her.
and they wonder why they don't trust roads.
A large carved.
Yeah.
The stuff that was on the table, the gourds and the things, I mean, it's mostly destroyed.
What's left?
Not much, a few little bunches of herbs, one glass of lembec that has some residue in it, not much,
So not really anything.
not that you can see.
All right. I will tell everyone what it is that I found. I will first check the traps on the cylinder. I
Okay.
can't imagine it already, but.
Or that you find it.
Or that I find them. Thank you for the vote of confidence.
You're like a cheerleader. You're like this party's own cheerleader.
It was like the
It's
anti
not-
cheerleader.
I'm gonna check also. Okay.
It's 21.
Oh,
Wait.
shit, I might let him just check.
Yeah, just let me check.
It's, you don't see any track.
So you are a resident rogue?
No.
Yeah, I got that.
To the bit of luck.
I'll
Oh,
let
okay,
you look
from,
at it and see what's inside.
There's a, piece of what looks to be some sort of vegetable papyrus of some sort rolled up. It does radiate magic. But it's obviously like homemade paper.
No.
Papyrus.
Okay, so it's like a.
It's like our guidance, yeah.
In this case, yeah. I was going to bit of luck.
Is it a domain thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's plus one on every die 20 that round.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I mean.
Sweet.
I mean, I was just gonna,
That's all you say.
Right.
All right. Oh,
but I
no,
mean,
no,
if you're not gonna, if I don't see you doing up, I won't give it to you, 'cause I only got
Corpse.
6 today.
Huh?
Okay,
Is it a corpse?
That's what I'm doing.
Well, no, I mean.
I was
in
trying it,
general.
but I choked badly.
So
but-
she was human.
Yeah.
Looked to be of about, somewhere in her.
150?
Early to mid, yeah. Early to mid thirties. Fairly dirty, I guess, unwashed, I guess would probably be better.
She's a druid living in a cave surrounded by fungus. If she was clean, I'd be more surprised.
I thought she was a fighter.
Well, I thought she was-
Yeah, so, but, beyond that, she looks relatively normal. She's certainly not the ghost of any Briarstone people.
Yeah, I think so. Well, this isn't our witch. And,
Look, could have been the witch.
oh,
Not the one they were talking about, but definitely.
I'm gonna move out of this cave. And I'm going to check to see if the, moss is still growing.
I'm gonna go back.
On the wall?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
well, they're all,
Unless damaged, so these guys damaged quite a bit of those bioluminescent mosses, but there's still a lot.
okay, while they're doing that, I'm going into this room and I'm gonna check all this room.
I need you, to make a saving throw.
What kind?
Oh, wait, not yet. Let me see what it is. It's a touch of AC, it's an 18 touch attack.
Well, I'm sure that's gonna kill.
Poison dart.
Okay.
That hit you? You look down, you hear a, and you look and you're like, that hurt. What was that? And you look down and you see that there is a small hollow thorn stuck in your hand. You pull it out and you see that there's a bit of blue poison around it. I need you to make a fortitude save.
I need to suck it out quickly or you're gonna die. We're gonna miss you.
Wow. Wow. We're a party that cares for each other, that's for damn sure.
I was right behind him coming in.
Okay,
Did I see where that needle came from?
came from over by the chest.
It does, if I go to
Sorry
examine the
about
trap, it doesn't look like it resets itself.
No, it's more like a rubber band trap. You can see that there's like a little tripwire that he did, almost imperceptible.
If only we had a person that.
22.
is
Oh,
so
good, you're
He was
okay.
allowed to check
So
the
yeah,
trap
you're just
first.
like knock it off. You can feel like there's some numbness around the edge and you can see a little bit of like coagulated blood and things like that. But it looks like the bulk of the problem with that poison did not get into your blood. Okay.
I'm gonna. Would you mind if I check for additional traps in the set?
Yeah, I'll do it a bit of luck for you.
Okay.
Remember, I did tell everyone that I found a wooden cat.
Is it any more traps?
They definitely did.
On the chest?
Yeah.
You do not see it. Roll.
I
David
did,
up
it
there.
was a 17.
17, yeah, you don't see it.
Is it locked?
It is.
Before I go get the key, I have to try to disable it, because that's what I do.
I'm there.
You want to help?
No, you guys
no,
don't know I'm,
No,
as soon as you all went
I
over
see
there,
them.
I'm heading this.
I seen him wander off and I had to
Yeah.
follow because it's what I would do, but.
What's this sketchy bastard doing?
I rolled a 2, so I got a 20 total.
20 total on,
Disable lock.
is it a lock? Yeah, that would do it. It's not a very,
I'm very good at that.
it's not a very complex lock. It looks homemade.
If I need a key on something, I get pissed at myself.
Yeah, it looks homemade. It's carved, and it's wood mostly, and
Okay.
some fibrous material.
Open it up,
Inside the chest,
showing you.
looks like it may have held some equipment in it. Right now, it has what looks to be a few bits of clothing, sort of similar, okay. It does, let me see. It does, a minor magic is coming from a clay pot, that's sitting there, it's about yay big, about the size of a camel. A little bit of magic coming out of, something inside the clay pot, and there's also a leather pouch. A large
thief.
Large,
I mean,
almost a sack.
This radiates magic. See, whatever inside I'll show you this. pot.
The jar.
Yeah.
Laid out.
This is a jar.
It's sealed with wax.
Okay, we're not gonna do anything with it right now.
Okay. It's a clay, handmade clay pot.
And the large leather pouch.
It makes a clanking noise when you pick it up.
Open it up, look in.
Inside, you see there are several fairly large nuggets of what look like to be gold to you,
Okay,
as well as a fair amount of much smaller, sort of like gold sand.
are there teeth around the edge of the bag?
Not that you can see.
Not that I'm suspicious already.
But it looks like raw gold nuggets.
Tip the bag upside down and dump it.
And then there's like, as this like sand falls onto the ground. It looks like naturally occurring unworked gold. There's nuggets of various sizes, plus a fair amount of what would be gold powder or gold sand that looks like it may have been panned out of somewhere.
Dump it back into.
Hit a groove and then
Yeah.
start sweeping it in.
So is the pouch big enough to hold this, the pot urn or whatever?
Yeah.
Put that in there.
Oh, yeah. Can you repeat the list? I got the jar, the magic jar.
We're not telling you about this.
So just some like
You want the loot right now?
more of those tattered clothes which they're ignoring. The jar is a clay jar that with some sort of mud or wax seal on the top, that's keeping in whatever's in there. And then a large pouch with some raw gold nuggets and gold dust. Gold dust.
All right.
Yeah.
When we put the jar in the bag, does the bag weigh more?
Who's just saying, because the bag
You know what I
itself,
mean?
it's a
bag,
bag, yeah. I detected magic, the bag's not magic.
That is that.
Oh,
He detected that.
okay.
The jar is
The
magic.
jar,
The
well,
jar
it's
is.
in the jar is magic. You can feel the magic from inside.
So
The jug
can
is
you
not magic.
rifle through there, to see if there's any secret compartments or anything else like that. I mean, I don't see anything else. that's
Again, the
magical.
chest, then you see compartments in the chest, you want to check,
While they're doing that, since I'm checking out the Wagon, I'm also going to look into that. last
18.
one.
No secret compartments. you can see. The chest is homemade.
Just asking.
Okay,
Almost, I mean, everything you see in this room is largely
under the
homemade.
bed.
Nothing, dust,
Garbage.
garbage.
Do you check for secret doors?
You got a pretty good look. at that.
I'll do a spin around looking for concealed doors, secret doors, anything like that.
Yeah, because we do have one more area. over there.
Which
Well, I already spilled the beans on that, so that was where that's where the bones were.
Oh, yeah.
And the muscle smell. That's where that other plant lived.
What?
I mean, you can go investigate in there if you want.
We will. I'm gonna cast detect magic. I mean, anything that might be in there.
No concealed doors. It's stupid.
Sure. Sure. Like the concealed doors. What do you do?
Duh.
I'm going to die.
So, yeah, but that's all you see in there. Okay, then if you wanna pull the paper off that last room,
Yeah, so there's no magic, nothing like,
go in there and then scope around with the technique if you don't find anything. A few, there's a fair amount of bones in there. Your guess is that that woman, druid was. Okay.
If she was indeed a druid.
If she was indeed a druid, was, keeping that planet there sort of an extra guard.
She was a summoner and that was her eidolon.
well,
She was
they-
going to eventually grow wings and become a black dragon. Well, ain't that a bitch.
well, I mean, the thing about
I
it
sat
is,
myself while you left.
the thing is, it'll, I guess, swallow any kind of magic item, like a whatever, it's gonna poop them out.
Yep.
The point is,
Gonna detect magic in the bone pit.
I already did,
You
well,
already
you
did.
certainly can, not-
Yeah, you don't see the magic. No, it's just bone.
I mean-
Your guess is that she was feeding this thing to help it, to be sort of a door guardian for her, just like the way. Okay, you go ahead and roll.
To be fair,
There's
none
no
of us
magic,
are
there's no-
saying-
they're just bones.
I just want to say I can too.
Yeah, no magic.
Look at me.
So you guys come out of there, I mean,
Slightly richer. No, I stayed in the bone pit.
Yeah.
What is, well, I mean, I'm
That's-
talking about the cave. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, it's kind of comfy, he wants to stay in the bone pit, so.
Yeah, maybe just hold his head in it.
I'll give you the vote.
So yeah, you come out of there. I mean, there's still a little bit of bioluminescent fungus on the walls by the entrance, but not much. And certainly, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry.
Certainly not enough, you think, to generate, to be able to be seen from a mile away on the
Grady,
water.
Grady.
Uh,
Me and my friend Eliv need healing. I need healing.
And there's no, I mean, there's no things. At this point.
Can you say that out loud?
Yeah. Yes. Well. Yeah,
We were asking for it in combat. too.
I know.
We were talking about it, you didn't say anything.
Oh, no. In character, I said, my buddy Eliv needs help, medic.
Grady gives you,
You got
6
help.
points of healing.
Wait a second, you can't, no.
I won't take it,
Get
I won't
outta
take it
here.
from Grady. I won't take it from Grady. Evidently, I won't take it from Doug either, because he'll never give it up. As we get to the boat, I will turn to everyone. Eliv needs it very badly. Should, Eliv needs it very badly. Should something go wrong in the town? Should anything try and come for us, or should the town turn against us in some way? We somehow get separated, we all meet here.
And the cave?
Yes, we
Okay.
all meet up here.
Rally in the death cave, okay?
Rally here, and if we can't figure out. Everyone.
I can't.
We all meet back here, regroup, and then hopefully.
That's actually not a bad idea. I mean, you guys got a rally.
Valley Squirrel is just over in the other room, so.
18 points back, as I touch it.
Somebody put in.
Who else needs it?
Dex, how about you, Dex?
Agency I used to work at.
I'm down 10.
Somebody had framed the printout, put it on the wall next to the exit, the stair exit. That said, in case of fire.
10
or
points
you think
damage.
there might be a fire, everybody.
Healing.
needs a liquor
Healing.
What? In case it said a fire, or if you think there might be a fire, everybody needs a liquor
Are you
store.
still down hurt?
No.
Somebody framed it and hung it up next to the emergency exit. I thought, yeah, that's solid plan right there.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. White.
I wrote the note, I wrote the letter, it said, we keep forgetting I'm a clerk.
We keep asking and you never say anything.
Don't
They have,
need
he
us
did
to
note
ask
that, they
you.
have forgotten I'm a clerk.
No,
No, we didn't.
No, we remember.
we just thought you were a less kind of cleric.
We just also can't control you or what you do, and you have free will of what your
We will be-
character can
We will be
cast.
more direct, saying, Doug, can you heal us, please, using your mystical aura powers?
Now, wait a second, I have changed my ways. I have transformed myself into an absolute
We
healing
thought
cleric.
you were a historical healer.
You thought you were.
Sorry, not
Oh.
a historical less,
Oh,
you
yeah. I-
historical less
I'll
clear.
remember this chiding.
God damn it.
No, you won't.
Are you writing down, I'll remember this
Yeah.
shining in the future? Like, who won't? Oh, well played, well played.
Nice job.
He's playing Memento, he's gonna tattoo it on himself so he can remember it.
All right, but you guys, leave the cave. There's obviously no other rooms. You've got the stuff. You're able to get back in the boat. You're able to get back in the boat and head back downstream, or yeah, downstream. Okay. Back to where Elgrior is. He's your killer. He's waiting on the thing. I see you. You've returned. You've defeated the Firestone Witch. Is it true?
Oh, yes, we have.
Oh, it's a glorious day for Thrushmoor. I knew that you, my new friends, could do it. I am so pleased. Did you bring her head?
No, she melted into dust.
Ah, that sounds something like exactly what a Firestone Witch would do.
Yeah,
I understand you've done this. But now that she is slain, I can see the lights of emanated from her hellish keen are now gone. It must be true.
Yeah, can I turn around to see if the lights are still going?
Yeah, you can't see it.
Oh, we burned
You guys burned most of the
That's fair.
bioluminescence.
With
fungus
acid
that
and
was
fire.
last in that
Combination.
episode.
Fire acid combo.
So Elvior is like really pleased, and he's like, it's the middle of the night, and he's screaming at the top of his lungs, "Behold the champions who have killed the Briarstone!" And you guys walk back into town, and
I'll wait until
people are
he's
like
done
peering
yelling.
out of their like shutters and then slamming them shut.
Oh, it's the lady with Dan Wilder and Richard Pryor. Yeah, we're bad.
Oh, yeah. That's right, we're bad.
Come out of your homes, behold the men and
No,
women who have
no.
killed the creature, the
No.
Briarstone Witch.
We're front and center, right? Let's start going towards the same. It might have been Spirit Crazy.
We're walking in jail. Yeah, we bad.
We bad, that's right, we bad.
He's so
Just one more day, I
Elvior is
almost found myself.
capering around and that kind of stuff.
The one with the train.
Oh.
Silver Street.
Okay, okay.
So eventually you guys,
Spirit Crazy is when they're in jail, though.
eventually you guys make your way down to Stain, raising havoc all the way through. People are peering out of their homes. One guy's like, "Shut up! We're trying to sleep here, you idiots! You crazy thing!" And there's still it's midnight. There's still a little activity at the Stain, but it's not crowded by any stretch of the imagination. But the Elgrior is capering. They have killed the witch. They have killed the Firestone Witch. He's growing increasingly sort of agitated and weirded out. And you guys are sort of following behind, and you can see Eamon down at the Stain, sort of peering out of the the thing, and you think he sees you guys. He's like, he's like, ale, we're buying ale for everyone.
Yes.
Sorry, who's this? Elgrior is yelling that you guys are buying ale for everyone, to celebrate the destruction of the Briarstone Witch.
We're a little strapped for cash.
Well, he's already gone inside, and Eamon is sort of like, "Hey,
I'll pull him to the side and say, he's not entirely wrong.
what did you do?"
There was a person, there was an
Was it
incident, there was an incident who was a person who seemed to be causing trouble. Might have been nothing else. They, I think, were causing. And I point towards,
Well, he's at the bar now, and he's telling everybody, and there's maybe a half a dozen people in there, who are mostly sodden at this point. He's telling them, 3 drinks, the Briarstone Witch is dead, the whole town will celebrate on the morrow, that kind of thing. And drinks, Aiden, come bring drinks for all of us. We must celebrate.
we basically did him a
Aiden's
favor.
like-
We did him a favor. you should lay off on the Firestone Bridge thing for now. So at the very least, the town should be a little more calm in the coming days.
Well, that'd be good for business. This could kill anybody. On behalf of this nut job?
No, not on behalf of this.
Okay, beyond that, I don't want to hear it. Drinks, come on in, everybody.
Very distinctly, not on behalf of this nut job.
He's like, la,
I'm
la, la,
not,
la,
no,
la.
I'm not telling him this, I'm just saying.
Kind of like Wong at the last
As a player, not.
Doctor Strange movie. I don't even want to know.
And he's like, before you even, la, 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 you know, he goes running in the house, like, come on, let's get the drinks.
Yeah, that last part was me as a player, not as Steve.
Gotcha. So he's like, hey, you know what? Don't want to know.
No, you don't. Let's
So,
go drink.
you guys go into the stain and, you know, he's like, the heroes of Briarstone, the heroes of Thrushmoor have arrived. They've killed the Briarstone witch. You know, he's yelling his thing. You should have seen them in action. You know, and all of a sudden now he's got this whole man. He's telling the story, which he did not witness and has no idea what happened. So it's increasingly fanciful because he's insane.
Yes, yes, it is.
Then they blew lightning down from the sky to blast the trees away from the Briarstone witch's hut.
It was lightning. Completely wrong here. My cousin just doesn't know that part.
He's making that part up. But
Like a good bard.
Tavian sets up
Tavian is like, okay, good.
all, you know, drinks for everybody, and some of you, he's like, some of you I've never met before.
We are the
Uh,
witches.
So, it's like, that'll be, 14 silver?
We've had a long day, man.
10 silver?
10 silver, that's a gold piece.
8 silver?
0.8 of a gold piece.
Gold piece.
I'll toss him a gold for all of
All right, so it's the middle of the night. The town is more or less deserted. Like I said, there are maybe a half dozen people in the stain. Now you guys have effectively more than doubled the amount of people in there. But Eamon is like, look, I don't, you know, whatever. Elgrior is sort of like, once he starts to get some ale in him, he starts to calm down a little bit. But he's still telling increasingly outrageous and disagreeing stories about what happened, right? So he tells it to one person, it's like, Elgrior, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, you know, he goes into another story, which is completely different from the first story about how you guys, you know, defeated the witch. And then, you know, and at one point, there's one wag over at one of the tables, like, hey, Elgrior, that's not how it sounded last time. And then he goes into a third section of it, you know, that kind of thing. So he's just making a bunch of crap up at this time, but he's sucking down his ale and he's starting to get tired. So it is quite late. So I don't know, you guys,
at some point, I retired to my stable.
your stable here at the Stain, okay.
Yeah.
The rest of you, so you, I think probably, so some of you had rooms at the Silver Wagon. I think Elib and Jex did, and Erevar, which you did not. You had part of his stable.
No, Thassi did.
Thassi did. Where were you staying?
I think I was staying at the
Silver Wagon? But you also, the night before, had stayed at the Sleepless Agency down in their fortress-like basement.
Where did you have me sleep?
Probably at the Silver Wagon. I doubt you would put up with sleeping in a farm.
I'll be writing in my
Journal?
journal,
Your
probably
diary.
until Thasia comes back. And I'll try and, as soon as she opens the door, I'll try and stealthily put it away.
Okay, your diary. The elf seems nice and compliant too.
Still not sure.
Still not sure. No, it's an old dumb in joke. All right, so you guys sort of spread out a little bit. You guys, those of you go into the wagon, the Silver Wagon, and sort of moving a pack. There's nobody on the streets, although as you move towards the Silver Wagon, down at the end of one of those streets, as you approach the place, you can see what looks like a couple of people. I'm not sure, you can't really get a good look at them, because they're probably 50 meters away. But you can see that there is like, and you know, as you stare up there, you can see there's at least 3 people up there and they're just watching. Now,
watching us?
yeah, as you guys, not you, because you're back, you and Tassie are back standing.
Yeah.
Okay? Watching the rest of them go towards the silver wagon, they're by the silver wagon. So if you look at the map,
So
so you guys start here, you start here at the stand.
But deserted island.
And then you're going sort of through here. They would be sort of like up here, looking down this street at you guys as you guys come up this road here to go into the wagon. The wagon common room is largely empty. They're cleaning up that kind of stuff. As you guys come in, you get a dirty look from Dina. You know, one of the other barmaids comes over and is like, you guys are arriving late. Is everything all right? Do you need any hot water? Or, I mean, the bar's kind of closed right now, but your room's obviously out there.
I give you some hot water.
I'll have it brought up right away.
Okay.
I'm going to bed. Okay. All right, so you guys get back to your respective places and the night passes without incident. You wake up the next morning, and there's a knock at the door. There, no, not it. Who is it? Constables. Open up, constables.
Are we all in the same room or am I down the way?
Yeah, you could hear it though.
Okay.
He lives in
Looks like
there.
he was in that cave
We'll open the door.
earlier than I
You open the
expected.
door for the constables.
All right, there's a couple of guys, you don't recognize them, you don't think you've seen them.
How do you spell it?
AWRY. Constance like, Elif Jex, you need to come with us down to the court, we need to ask you a couple questions, there's a murder reported. You need to look into it, you guys were said to have been involved, we need to ask you a couple questions. They come with us. Your friends too, where are they at? Apparently some woman. Just come with us. We'll take care of it now.
Sure. This is a whole repeat of Mub getting arrested at the Three Goats.
For the third time.
So you
For
gotta,
the third.
so you're gonna accuse me of murder and be the key witness?
No.
So it's not the
this
same
time.
thing.
No, not this time.
That was your advocate. All right, so, Jex, I'm assuming leads down to Dustwar's room and the rest of them and Bella's. And the 2 constables are like, come with us, we're gonna, we need to do this up at the fort. Matter of Bristol. So he leads you guys up to the fort. The gates of the fort are open.
Are we all collected at this point?
So up to you guys over at the wagon.
Okay.
The gates are open, you go into the fort. While they're going up there, what do you guys do? You wake up, nobody's come for you.
I would probably, once we woke up, I would probably try and head towards. Yeah, probably towards the right. Actually, no, I know what I would do. I would be going towards here. I
Okay.
want to check out, Pier 12, because I don't know what's going on with them, so.
Okay. All right, so you guys are going out of Pier 12. The rest of you guys are going up to the fort.
Are we getting, is this a forced march? Or?
No, they're not.
No,
They're
they
not
just-
getting
we're just
handcuffed
walking
or
with
anything. Yeah, we're just walking together. So you guys get to the fort and you go inside, and
It's not
obviously you're in that
Hanley
same
Road or
Bailey
anything.
that you guys peered into the day before. Or, yeah, it was yesterday that you guys broke into that warehouse. And, you can see, you know, the same, it's roughly the same sort of scene, right? There's other constables, you know, working out, not as many, maybe like a half dozen. You can see at the other end of the Bailey, that big hole that's been, they were putting in yesterday. You don't see any Mwangi guys. They're not out or they're not visible. But you do see that 2 large manacles have been attached to the pole by big bolts or something like that. They've been nailed into it. 2 large manacles, which are up so that somebody attached to, they're hung up high enough where somebody attached to it, their arms would be like this.
Oh, no.
So
What's
like-
it, kindling around?
Yeah.
Not really on the patch.
Let's not go to Thrushmoor, it's a silly place. But yeah, so the manacles are attached to the pole so that they're high enough where that if any human-sized person was attached to them, their feet would still be on the ground, but their arms would be stretched up. But
Okay, oh, so it's still low, the manacles themselves are still low to the ground, it's just like a place.
But you're not there.
No, I know, but I was going to ask a question.
no, the manacles are sort of like they're singles, right? They're not two manacles tied to each other, but they are a single manacle, chain with a single manacle. There's two of them, and they're bolted into the pole at about 10 feet up.
Jax, we should be
So that
safe.
so that the chains dangle down, but the manacles
We're
are
gonna
high
just
enough
be
where
around our hands just
to
about.
have your hands in them, you would have to be like have your hands up.
Right,
So it would hold you like this
right,
against the pole.
that's what I imagined. Okay. All right, I'll say.
But you don't see any of those Moangi guys you saw, yes.
Sorry.
Shame my enemies like you. All right, they take you into a room that's basically a bunch of big tables, and they're like, have a seat, that kind of stuff.
I sit on the
And,
table.
So the first thing is like, all right, where were you guys last night
Have we said the chair?
I was in my room,
for that? Dumbass.
drinking below. Oh, I had a hot bath. You can ask the lady at the end.
Very well. That goes the same for all of you, hot baths and drinking in the
They
room?
were not in the hot bath with me.
I did not take it like that.
I did
That's
not
the
take
best character with y'all.
What time of the night are you particularly referring to?
After 10? You guys were bathing and drinking all night at the Wagon?
As a,
You know this is gonna be pretty easy to check out, and the
As
person
a-
we're gonna
as
ask
a-
doesn't like you guys.
as a player asking the GM.
Yeah.
What time did we get back last night?
After, well after midnight.
Well, after midnight.
You guys got to the Spain about
Oh,
midnight. You didn't get down to the river until dusk, which would have been about 8:30. Then you had to
Go there.
boat there, go in, do the fighting, that kind of stuff, come back out, search the place, come back out, boat back. It was probably 11:30, 11:45 by the time you got back to Elgrior. Then you went back and walked back into the city to get to the Stain. It's probably midnight by the time you got there. Stayed there for a little while, listened to Elgrior and the other sots talk about different stories about what you guys did, none of which matched accurate. They weren't all accurate. Probably left there to go back to the Wagon about 1-ish. Got back to the Wagon about 1:20 or so. Went up to your rooms, got some hot water, asleep by 1:45.
Yeah.
So the
Good.
constable that collected us said something about a murder.
Yeah, we had a report that there was a woman murdered late last night.
And this report came from,
Various sources. Yeah, we're not really at liberty to talk about it. There was some discussion. Those sources also said that you were either witnesses or potentially involved in this assault. So we couldn't see you guys. I'm saying you were in the Silver Wagon all night, got hot baths, and then went to, well, not for you guys, but you got a hot bath and then went to bed.
Well,
That's,
you asked what I did last night, and that's what I did.
okay.
Now,
This is not good.
when I understand your time frame, we didn't get there till, late, so.
What were you doing earlier in the evening?
We were actually talking with Elgrior.
Elgrior the nut.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to entertain him somehow,
You guys know him in some fashion from
just from him being a nut in town.
you strike up kind of long conversations in the meetings with all the nuts in town, or?
Doing it now.
I'm not with these guys.
Did you see our new poll?
Yeah.
You wanna see it closer?
No.
Yeah,
Fist bump. Fist bump.
That's pretty good.
That was fucking
That's pretty
amazing. You're screwed. But
It's
that
my
was-
character, right?
God.
You got a backup character written up, right?
Oh, yeah.
And those Sake is gonna be bitch on the floor.
Doing it now. All right, so basically he's,
It's
you know,
Action Jackson.
weirdly, he wasn't as enthusiastically amused by that.
No, I don't imagine you would be.
So, but he's right, they're right, so the other constable, there's two of them, the one guy's asking.
Is the one snickering when I said that?
Yeah. But he's also writing a bunch of stuff down,
He said, well,
so, it's like, hold on, I gotta go.
I'm sorry.
All right, yeah. So he asked a few more questions, asked Joe, is that correct, what he said, you know, that kind of thing, and I don't know. if
Yes,
that-
you are an idiot.
Yes, this man has no debt. That's what I heard.
Well done again.
Come on, look, I gotta write down. Remember.
Long's
No,
fault.
I would respond, I mean, I'm gonna be taking a stoic, response, not really,
Nothing like the other
yeah,
person.
I'm pretty much observing, okay? And,
They didn't worry, we're fine.
So far, we're fine. Good statements.
okay, I'm gonna roll a sense of motive here.
When you're looking over the paper like this, it's better look at it.
I mean, at least, in the very least, nobody's trying to bribe our way
Okay,
out of this.
sense motive 18.
On Jax, you don't know what his motive is,
No,
but it's obviously to get you guys killed.
yeah, right. I'm looking at the sense motive at the gentleman.
Constable?
Yeah, I mean, that,
Drum up enough evidence to kill this asshole.
18.
You get the impression. There's a couple of weird, so the first thing that you think about is, it's awfully weird that these guys have come to you having heard of a murder of a woman.
Well, let me just stop. That doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me at all because
Okay.
the guy who's yelling at the top of his lungs about how we killed somebody.
Yeah.
Also, he
Okay,
also did
and
nothing
so-
to stop.
Right.
And so, is this, from a legal point of view?
Yeah.
Somebody, a person had died, and so it, according to all of the hoopla going on last night, that we were involved in the demise of an individual.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, I mean, this, from a, be running my character as lawful, as much close as I can say, that, yeah, so the point is, when we went into this with a set of assumptions that this character that we were moving towards was part of a conspiracy to, if for whatever reason, all right? That's where I'm going on this. It's not, it's so the point is, this guy is somehow like, what's the underlying motivation? Are they in loops for trying to do something to this town? or
No,
whatever?
you get the impression that they really couldn't care less about the murder itself. The vibe you get is that they're trying to get a look at you guys. You guys are new in town. You get the impression that this is cosmetic,
I'm sure they're gonna be.
but they wanted to,
big fans of us.
Okay,
get a vibe off you guys.
All right, so it's very important to this character, my character,
Right.
that I not be seen as being overtly deceptive.
Okay.
Because it's clear that this character,
Oh, he told nothing but lies since he walked in the door.
that's exactly right.
Easily disprovable.
Right. And so, like I said, I'm
They were very
stepping
easy.
back and I'm like,
Went to the
trying to
same
figure,
place,
before I
and then we
respond
went
to
to
any of this,
Right.
Right off the
I'm
table,
gonna
and
like
lied about
say,
our location.
what's this guy going on? Do I associate myself,
I had a bad,
you
I
know,
went to bed.
with them to the
Right,
point
so
of,
that's only right.
I don't wanna say, oh, they're lying,
But when I
You
found
know,
out.
right,
that
but
I
I-
said
you don't
we
wanna
were hanging
necessarily
out
wrap
with,
it up.
right?
But yeah, you're worried that Jex is telling some
Easily
easily disprovable lies.
Easily.
And the
provable
people
lies.
that will disprove them don't like them.
That's right.
So
Right.
they will be lining up
Oh, yeah.
to tell the constables that he's lying.
Right. Right. And
They may already
this
have
man too.
said,
They're probably the ones
Yeah.
that.
well,
call
even
it.
if he's been quiet. He's letting Jeff do all the talking.
Clearly, they've weaponized the constables here for political gain.
Shut up, Margaret.
So anyway, so in all honesty, my goal, my motivation is to get the hell out of this room.
Right. Well, and
That
so we
should
don't
be
see-
your, that should be your motivation. Fuck out of
I'm
there.
actually gonna use my diplomacy, unlike some people in the room.
Okay.
And see if I can talk all the way out.
Okay, give me a diplomacy roll.
I did, I have, if my math is correct, a 25.
All right, so what do you tell me then?
That's, I don't know what y'all are looking for, but we listened to the nut talk for a while last night, and by the time it was done, you'd be amazed at the things we apparently did. I mean, at one point there was lightning, at one point there was, all kinds of things. But every time he told a story, it got a little bit weirder.
I cast lightning to this guy.
It's all right. So, I mean,
Easily disprovable lies.
we're,
Yeah.
we're dealing with the ramblings of the.
That's the point now.
And I rolled a 24 on my diplomacy,
Okay,
echoing some of these words of,
so you're like helping her out.
well, yes.
Okay.
And in a way to say not to throw these guys, throw him, it,
Specifically him.
I mean, because he's the only one.
Well,
Not to point out the guilty bastard over
Probably
there.
the highest intelligence in
Not
the
to
room.
point out the.
He's keeping his mouth shut.
Yeah.
He hasn't said, he hasn't said a word.
He's the smartest
And he's
one
got
in
the
this group.
skulls on his belt, so I mean,
So
We
anyway,
don't have a lawyer present, so,
all right, so yeah, so that would be a fairly big aid. So they do seem to, you'd be like, yeah, he's kind of a nut, that kind of stuff, and the other constables like, you get the impression that that was probably the source of this information.
Snake
And
woman.
they're like, they see
Weirdly
differently. They ask you
man.
a few more sort of
Tiefling.
questions about, that, they give them a couple of dirty looks.
Her,
And they're like, well, I guess that's all, but, you're gonna be in town for a while?
Don't leave town.
You're gonna be in town for a while?
yes,
can tell the line.
Well, don't feel like you need to stay for very long if you don't have to.
okay.
They,
Trying to drive you
walk it
out.
up, walk you back out to the main doorway, and, sort of watch as you guys walk out.
Kick us in the butt.
There's no kicking, but they do let you go. But, all right, so you go down to Pier 12.
Oh, I'm having a wonderful day outside. It's so nice not being confined to
As we leave the
investigation
building,
room.
I yell back, "We're the best donuts in town."
Oh my
Well, the second constable, the one who was writing stuff down, he's like, oh, so go down to the donut wagon, and the other guy's like, shut up, it's an insult.
Felix with a muzzle him as we head out.
Wait till they get the master blaster ready, he's gonna be yelling over Edith's head. Where's the best donut? You gotta get one of those little cheerleader megaphones.
Come out with your hands up.
You go down to Pier 12.
Yes, I tell Thalia to kind of stay back and keep a lookout.
Okay, do either you or Thalia have sailing skills or fisherman skills or anything like that?
I know. Elib, not in the.
It was
south.
something similar to that, which caused me to get into trouble when you and I first met.
Shocking.
When they were about to beat the shit out of me.
Fucking who would guess that?
How could that possibly?
I've got,
it.
I believe you let your mouth over your ass.
I have survival.
His mouth over there.
Okay.
Over his ass.
That's right, I'll allow it. That's close,
Pretty good.
that's pretty close, actually.
Oh, that's good. 25.
25, okay, so as you approach Pier 12, you realize that Pier 12, out of all the, remember this is a fishing village, and the people have already, most of the fishermen, I mean, there's a lot of activity down at the waterfront, there's boats coming in and out, most of the fishermen are out in the lake right now, but, in some cases, you can see the clusters of boats out on Lake Carson and all those kind of things. What's
Let's
it?
go to the first one, it's got deals on home decor.
Manufacture, what?
Pier 1.
Oh, Pier 1.
God damn.
Oh, to be sore in the morning after that one. So there's a fair amount of activity. Pier 12 is different in that it's sort of like out of the way, like at the end of the dock, and there's nobody around it. When you get closer, you see that the pier itself is in a fair amount of, I was gonna say disarray. Disrepair. Not disarray. And there's nobody, I mean, there's a couple of people, you know, maybe 20, 30 meters away, you know, working on stuff. But it's not the kind of activity you see in the more central locations. It's not a central pier location.
Okay.
So there is some damage to the dock itself. But no, I mean, you can still park a boat there. There just aren't any parked there.
Okay. I'll turn to Fassia and say, could you keep a lookout to make sure that nobody comes and bothers me while I'm doing something here?
How are you gonna do that?
Is the
Detour. We don't want to see the.
This is an intimidating snake woman. I think it'll be fine.
Crimes over here. Yeah, move on. Move on. Nothing to see here.
And you think I'm problematic? Yeah, well, is the pier? It's in the shallows, right?
PC characters off.
This wasn't gonna stop me, because I can go wherever I want.
The pier is in the shallows, correct? It's in relatively shallow water.
Well, it connects to the shore.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, out
So-
at the end of it, pier is probably, I mean, they bring
this
boats
all
in, but
coming
it
up?
won't be, yeah, go ahead.
And I'll hop down, and begin to walk underneath the pier.
In the water.
I'm walking underneath the pier to try, did I get where the guy said?
Under the
specifically where it was?
boardwalk. He didn't say specifically, and frankly, your guess was
Under the boardwalk.
based on what he said, is that he wasn't close
Under
enough
the
to see exactly where he said towards the
boardwalk.
end of the pier and underneath. You remember saying that specifically?
Okay, then I will go towards the end. And I will spend as much
So
time.
you've got a high
as needed.
intelligence? Okay, yeah, thanks.
Just learned enough to shut up. That's what I meant. You know, it was the smartest
Like,
one because they didn't
Your
say
character
anything.
shut up in front of the cops is
Time.
more wisdom than
Yeah.
intelligence, yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, I don't like this.
You know, one thing that I did like.
I will
that,
agree that it's much more wisdom than
Tom
intelligence,
and I,
because my
did you
wisdom
see
is
that,
10.
did you see that, 3D boat ship? I'm gonna build one of those things. That would be cool. There was a wooden, it's made out of plywood, but it was in the shape of a boat. And then you had all these different levels. You could move your miniatures.
It was right by the place where we
Can
played
you
the south,
hand us,
south side, north
my-
side,
Yeah.
Chicago thing, yeah.
Did
I
you
saw
see
it,
that? I
Yeah,
thought that was cool.
yeah.
I think of next year, I'm gonna
it's just
seriously
Fassia and I.
think about doing minis, some minis. That looked like fun.
Oh, yeah.
Where at?
Hey,
Or
Tim,
Gen Con, or
Gen
maybe
Con, oh.
do more minis for, you know,
You
whatever.
gotta join us sometimes for Saturday.
Yeah, on the, down at.
Yeah, you gotta check that out on First
Yeah,
Saturday.
it was like a lot of fun.
And you know, I got an email from Dave Harrison, he wants me to run a thing at,
I know.
did I tell you that? Did you go with him?
No,
Oh.
no, I'm flying under that radar.
Where are we at?
All right,
So
so
I just don't need
Pier
the hassle
12.
of running something.
he's over here. This is Pier 12.
If I did though, it'd be the Starfinder thing.
And the bow out, yep, there we go.
We ready to snipe anyone that wants by.
Keep walking, keep walking.
I do love that we got you a bow just because we were always so confused over the
Yeah,
right.
that's the whole reason why I have it. Yeah.
Our inability to cope
It
with the
helped
idea
during the
that
last
you weren't
fight,
with.
but yeah, sole reason why I have it.
You're persistent,
Nope,
or that you normally use it, or you.
it's a shitty +3 compared to my other attack rolls and everything, yeah.
Plus three. All right, so you guys are over there. What, so you walked, you're not on the dock, you're under the dock.
Yes, I am.
We're just gonna walk into the water.
I was apparently near the end of the pier previously. You don't know this because I don't think I
No,
showed this.
that's why I said I was gonna give you your space. You did.
And I am going to take as much time as needed in order to try and figure out what the fuck I was doing.
All right, so I just want to make sure I have this right in my head. So you're on the dock, and you're just sort of planted up in the middle here, and anybody that comes near the dock, you just got your bow, you're just like,
Yeah, intimidating,
Yeah.
yeah.
I always kind of imagine you got like like those guys, it's sort of like, with the chest rig and everything, that was so pretty cool. And then you're walking out here, so it gets pretty deep about here as you're walking out there, and you have to kind of push this little skip away, which is kind of out there. But it's starting to get up to like, you figure by the end of the dock,
there's not enough space for one of these skips to go under the pier, is there?
no, it's pretty close to the
Alright.
surface.
Then I will begin to try and kind of,
Pull
I'm
yourself,
assuming there's like a lattice work between the legs.
yeah, you want to pull yourself up?
Not pull myself up, but I will pull myself continuously
Along.
under.
Oh, so
like-
you're gonna hold on to the dock, so
Yes,
so your feet won't be on the,
they won't be on the bottom, but
Got
the top half of my body will
Okay.
still be pulling onto the dock.
okay. You get to about here, and I'm assuming you're like sort of standing, give me a perception check. I'm assuming you're like looking around under the beneath or the bottom of the dock, that kind of
18.
18, all right, you get to that corner. And over there.
Actually,
Okay, never mind.
can I?
Yeah.
Use my, can I use my study target thing in order to try and look for, marks of anything being tampered with? Because I cannot imagine that this relatively abandoned pier would have a whole lot of traffic underneath the thing. So I'm trying to look for
Well, like tool marks or stuff like that?
exactly like tool marks or like,
Yeah, absolutely.
is it on those lines?
Yep.
In that case, 19.
19, you don't see any tool
Does
marks.
that make sense?
There's a fair amount of what you're guessing is some sort of like ocean slime. On the bottom of docks, it gets that crud on it, and there's like.
high tide, low tide.
Yeah, there's a lot of like gook on the bottom of it.
No, I mean, it adds to
but-
perception.
I know that.
Some of it's pretty extreme.
I would say you couldn't use that.
but
for,
There's no
examination of an area.
nobody's been working on it.
It's not what study target does. Read study target out loud.
I also have tracking or
Okay.
add track, so if
That's
that
not
works
tracking.
better. I mean, it is, because I'm tracking myself. I'm tracking 4 marks that I've made. under
Oh,
the
from what
pier.
you made.
Yeah, that's the target that I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find marks of
Trying to find you.
myself.
Found you.
Yeah, that's basically.
I could have found them.
Basically, I'm trying to think, okay, so where would I put something if I were under here, and then trying to look into places.
You are under that.
Good thing he's not
Isn't he
there,
an
so-
asshole?
God, I'm so glad that you're not here at the beer with me right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Duncan just
Why are you,
said-
why are you
now.
talking to him?
I don't know.
You don't see me, you're wasting time, like,
Wisdom check.
dude, don't let him get under your skin. Cause it's exactly what he's
19.
doing.
19. All right, you don't see any like tool marks or anything. It doesn't look like
They've
anybody's
never
been under
worked.
here like working on shit. There's a fair amount of like
I get to do
under
this
the
till
dock
November
kind of
20th.
slime and things like that. Some of it's
Oh my
kind of
God.
extreme in places, but
It's November 20th.
I
but no,
apologize to him once a year.
it doesn't look like anybody's been under here working.
Dude,
You also spot what looks to be.
he told me the story,
Okay.
he's about the
Definitely-
apologies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's hilarious. And it looks like it's attached, something's attached to the bottom of the dock.
It's a gun.
Over here.
On this side. All right, I'll give you that
One
one.
time, lots of guns.
I thought that was pretty good.
That one was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's writing that one or.
He's not gonna wait to tell you.
Yeah, probably. So there's a package underneath and
Mhm.
alright. Is it in like, I guess what's the material of the package?
You can't tell from here. You could swim underneath there and,
Yeah, I'm going towards it.
can you swim?
Well, like I said, I'm holding on to the lattice work under the pier, or it's like.
Oh,
or
yeah,
the
but the lattice work is on the
crossbeams.
sides. There's some cross beams under there. I mean, there's a lot of slime and garbage up there.
Oh, yeah, but I'm trying to
Okay.
do that. I'm
Okay.
trying to like go on a cross beams and trying to like.
give me a quick swim check just to make sure that you don't get a mouthful of water and start choking.
Oh, I'm almost certainly going to.
I'm only half listening, so please don't.
Oh, straight, outstanding. Oh, Christ, 18.
18, no problem. So you get under there and you're swimming along, and you're like, man, there's a lot of garbage under here. But you do get over to here and you sort of like swim all the way under it and you end up like holding onto the dock out from under it. And you reach under there and it's pretty far under, but you can sort of grab onto it. Feels like it's attached to the bottom of the dock by something.
on the bottom.
Like maybe ropes or something like that, or some sort of attachment. It's stuck to the bottom of the dock. Once you do though, you're looking over, you can see that that slime that was attached to the bottom of the dock begins to flow downward.
Oh, it's ooze.
And it gets into the water
It'll be fine.
and you can hear it sort of like
Good thing you brought a lot of
slides
people
into
with
the
you.
water. And then you see it sort of spread out on the water.
Yeah,
and
no,
kind of
I'm
like-
getting out of it. I'm getting, is the thing connected to like the direct underside of the bridge? Okay.
Yeah.
I will climb up on top of
You're
it.
gonna climb up onto the dock.
Yeah. Darcy, watch out for something.
Huh?
What?
Put them on the dock. All right. As you sort of like, so I'm assuming, so you yell out, Foxy, look out for something, and you look over the edge, you can see, at first you're like, all right, I don't know what that was weird, but I don't want to know. And all of a sudden then you see,
Yeah.
there's like a little
Pseudopod.
pseudopod comes out, and then another one, right on the edge there, and you sort of take a step back, and then you see, you can hear something pulling out of the thing, out of the water, and it's like, and then there's a big sort of like moof of stuff. It's sort of like a pinkish gray color, and then one of the pseudopods lifts up, and you see it sort of just go, and there's an eyeball looking right at you.
Oh, Sandy.
Roll for initiative.
Well, I'm not there.
Now, wait a second. Before we do that, I know you have to leave at 11. We're 10 to 11.
10 to 11.
Do you want to stop here, and the next time that we do it, we'll start with this initiative?
It's just the two of us. But
Or do you guys want to stop?
we're
and
done,
then
but
they'll-
let them do their thing, kind of keep an eye on when we would join. Yeah.
Well, it's a bit more complex.
I'm fine with waiting until next time.
You want to wait till next time? Because it could, this is a situation that could spin up into something bigger.
I cause less trouble at the police station.
Hey, you don't know about it. So,
You don't know about my trouble.
Yeah.
So let me get this, there is one thing, so this is going on while we
Right
are at
now,
the
we're
police
walking away,
station.
and then I can-
Okay, so at least we won't get blamed for this.
No one can do it
No,
worse than
no.
you.
That's what I-
Give it time. Give
Normally
it
I
time.
would not have a problem, but this week I've been going to work really early.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's no problem.
Yeah.
You got a long drive ahead of you too.
Yeah.
All right, so we stop there, and when we start next up, I think, what is this? Well, maybe longer than 2 weeks. So Bob said that he's coming back next Friday. He will be on deck unless something happens. He's had his surgery. Seems fine, they laid his throat.
Okay, so he's got the 19th.
He's got the 19th.
26th would be,
AEONS,
Age of Ashes. Second would be, Bob again, that's the first Friday.
2nd of September. That is Labor Day weekend too.
It's like they would-
yeah.
Okay.
Labor Day. And then, so mine will be the 9th.
Ninth.
So the
I
9th
will
of
be
September.
out of town
On the 9th?
Wait. Doing what?
because we are going to Gamer Ranch with Squash Group.
Okay.
Like Atomic Squash?
So-
We're going on the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
So it's not like you're working and then have nothing to do in the evening and can sign on and play.
No, I'm going
You will
to
be
be in
busy.
You're gonna be
Blaine,
up your ears.
Missouri,
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere.
Playing
About
Gamer
Ranch?
5 miles down a gravel road. Look at it.
But,
Gamer
but,
Ranch?
but playing games,
Yes.
yeah, you'll be
This
having
place,
fun.
this place is absolutely freaking amazing.
Why
They've got over 4,000 board games.
Okay.
They've got one section in one of the rooms set up that's got.
It's
an Airbnb?
Airbnb, not Airbnb, Airbnb.
They've got one section that's got like computer console set up and they simulate like a subway or a subway, a submarine battle,
Okay,
and you're in the submarine, they put everything up on the wall.
right.
They've got,
That's cool.
they've got any kind of video game console you can come up with. They've got like 5 or 6 different Oculus.
Really?
Quest things, they've got the Nintendos. Every room has a TV with a Nintendo and no, it's, they've got 2 different consoles in there, so if you're in your room and want to play a game, you've got
You got everything you need.
2 different kinds of consoles
Wow.
under there. They've got one section up in the wall that they've got every kind of model paint you can think of, and you can sit there and you can paint miniatures all weekend.
No
They've
kidding.
got another one to the side, but all it is those little yellow tubs. Cubbies that is nothing but Legos.
Mhm.
Um,
Wow, I gotta look at this place up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay.